Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage. This sign-in system is bit tricky. Chapter 81. Spirit, finally dead. Seeing the sprite disappear before her eyes, Shiyuan suddenly became extremely excited. She has lived in the shadow of sprites since she was a child. Now, she finally asked for this nightmare. But Yi Feng shook his head. It's not dead yet. Although its form is destroyed, its power is still there and it will recover. Really, in a blink of an eye, Sprite once again appeared in front of Yefeng and Xian. Only, his body seemed to be thinner than before. How could this be? How could you have this demon sword in your hand? A look of horror finally appeared on Sprite's face. It seems that this knife of mine can hurt you, right? Yi Feng's eyes lit up. No wonder Xian dreamed that he could kill sprites. It turned out to be because of this black knife. The sealed demon sword Ghost Toru. This is a demon sword. Even if you kill me with him, you will not end well by yourself. The master of the demon sword has never done a good job. It is light to say that the old age is ominous. Sprite suddenly yelled at Yefeng. It seems, he was really scared. Many people have told me that Goosh is a demon sword, which will bite the master, but it has helped me kill a lot of powerful enemies. Yi Feng calmly looked at the ghost in his hand, and said, "So, you can tell what about my origins of ghosts?" Yi Feng rarely encountered an old monster with ancient knowledge. So, he also wanted to find out the secrets of the ghost. I don't know where it came from. But it can hurt my soul. It's a complete demon sword. Sprite screamed. Slash the soul. That's it, then you can go to death. Yi Feng suddenly realized. The power of the sprite lies in the special power that belongs to the monster contained in its soul. Since the ghost can slash the soul, naturally, it can really kill it. Next, it's another slash. Every time Night Wind swung a knife to destroy a sprite, it would be restored by magic energy. But, every time the sprite reunited and formed, its size would become a little weaker. Continue like this, it will die sooner or later. Don't cut it, please don't cut it. You need my strength. Only if you and I join forces can we defeat Otsutsuki and make this world peaceful for another 1,000 years. Only then can this world have a chance to restore the grandeur of the ancient times. Quote. The sprite trembled and began to beg the night wind. This moment, Sprite was really panicked, because if Yi Feng cut it down like this again, it really is going to die. Oh, no need. The Otsutsuki of the last millennium has been dealt with by Mount Myoboku's toad balls, and the Otsutsuki of the next millennium will be dealt with by myself. As for this world, this is a ninja's world, my Yamanaka Night Wind's world, and there is no need to restore your so-called antiquity. Yefeng said lightly. In the ancient times, it is true that there are great contendings. But, no doubt, humans were at a disadvantage at that time. Otherwise, human beings will not have left too much inheritance in that period. So the ninja world does not need to return to the ancient times. It's good now. With Mount Myoboku, Ryachi Cave, Wetbone Forest, they can handle Otsutsuki. I don't believe it. Sprite roared. Katsuyu, White Snake, and Toad Tribe. It's just the goalkeeper of Yachi Orochi. What strength can they have? Moreover, if something happens to the Otsutsuki of the last millennium, the one who will come in the next millennium must be a master. You will definitely not be able to handle it, Sprite said confidently. Don't worry, for the next millennium, they are coming from weaker chickens, and I don't worry about this at all. The night wind was extremely calm and slashed again. Isn't it Otsutsuki Peach style, Otsutsuki Gold style, Otsutsuki Ura style? To be honest, they are much weaker than Kagaya. It's not a concern at all. Who told you that the next millennium will be a weak chicken? You don't understand Otsutsuki at all. They are a very scary clan, you don't understand anything at all. Quote. Seeing that the night wind was not coming in, the ghost roared hysterically. I don't quite understand Otsutsuki, but I have seen blog posts. Yi Feng shrugged. What kind of cheating? Sprite showed a silly look. What kind of strange names are these? But Yi Feng had no meaning to explain to sprites at all. What's wrong with cheating? Cheating that is also true love. I can't stand it for a day to watch half of the episode. Then, the night wind slapped again. This time, the sword force that Yi Feng condensed turned out to be more and more like a crescent moon. Boom! A black crescent rose to the sky, destroying the sprite once again. Please don't cut it, and the witch over there, isn't your mission to seal me? Why don't you hurry up? Are you right to the mission of your witch? Spirit asked Xian for help. Kill it, Yefeng, Xian responded. Good, it was another slash. The sprite was finally wiped out by the night wind. With the death of sprites, the humanoid puppets from the outside world are all turned into fly ash. Disappear. Monsters. Death. Time flies, time flies. In a blink of an eye. 2 years have passed. Yifeng has grown from a 14-year-old boy to a 17-year-old young man. In these 2 years, Yefeng has successively completed many sign-in tasks issued by the system. Now, he has collected the 7 escape techniques of yin, yang, wind, fire, thunder, water, and earth. It was also a matter of course to be promoted to the elite Jonin of Konoha village. And, Yefeng is also top-notch in the circle of elite Jonin. However, Yifeng felt very dissatisfied with his current state. On the way back to the village after finishing the mission, Yifeng frowned very tightly. It's March now, and there is only half a year left until the 4th Ninja World War. If this continues, I am afraid it will be difficult to break the wrist with those local guapi. Although the night wind seems very strong now, his pubic seal has improved significantly, and a large amount of chakra has been stored in his pubic area. Even if it is fighting with the tail beast, chakra can support it for a long time. But, after a few months, the tail beast is basically a charger. In front of 6 paths class puffers, Yifeng's current strength is simply not enough. He must become stronger. System, there have been days when there are no sign-in tasks, dare you come out and scream. Yifeng said in his heart. Sometimes, Yefeng even wondered if the system had hung up. Host, please be patient, this system is just. Okay, no need to explain, I understand. Isn't it just a porter who can't create rewards, just rewards? Anyway, you can figure it out by yourself. If this goes on, I am afraid that I will take date pills. Yifeng shook his head, headed in the direction of Konoha village. It stands to reason, Shippuden should be about to begin, when will Gaara get some moths? According to the urinary nature of the system, there should be a sign-in task. So, Gaara, it's not that I want you to be hammered. This is purely because the system is too bad. It didn't take long. The night wind returned to the entrance of Konoha village. The 10,000 years of Konoha village greeted Yifeng enthusiastically. Hey, Yifeng, I came back after finishing the S-level mission so soon. The efficiency of completing the mission is really staggering. Haha, there is a beautiful young lady in Yefeng's house waiting for him, of course he has to come back soon. Oh, that's even more enviable. Gangzi Tetsu and Kamizuki Izumo are known as the 10,000 years goalkeepers of Konoha village. Every time Yifeng passed by the gate, he would chat with them. So, after a long time, their relationship is pretty good. I still envy you, as long as you keep the gate here. If you use Shadow Clone, the body can be high at will. Yifeng really envied them. Because what he hates most is traveling. Ah, only Yefeng your Shadow Clone can be so strong. Yeah, if it were the two of us, Shadow Clone might be destroyed in less than 10 minutes. The 2-door gods smiled awkwardly. Although Shadow Clone technique is not as spicy as multiple Shadow Clone technique pervert. But, ordinary ninjas chakra simply can't maintain Shadow Clone for too long. By the way, have you heard of something major happening at San Shinobi recently? Yifeng asked. It doesn't seem to be right, have you heard of Shenyu? Gang Ziti glanced at his old partner, recalled it, and indeed hadn't heard of any major events recently. We are just 2 gatekeepers. I don't know if there is news. Yifeng, you are afraid that you asked the wrong person. Shenyu Izumo smiled. Well, then I won't bother you two, I'll go now. Yifeng smiled, and after completing the procedures, he returned to Konoha village. After returning to the village, after Yifeng handed in the task, he came to the training ground of the Yamanaka clan. At this time, Ino and Hinata sat cross-legged, watching their noses and noses. On their foreheads, each has a pink diamond mark. Very cute. Make them look more spiritual. Not bad, your 100 healings mark seems to have improved again. Yifeng came to Hinata and Ino, looking at them with a smile. Nightwind, elder brother, Why did you come back so soon? The two said in unison, looking very happy. Well, the task this time is relatively simple, so I don't delay much effort. Yifeng smiled and touched their little heads, and asked, how is 100 Healings Mark's practice recently? Is there anything you don't understand? Quote, as Tsunade's disciples, Ino and Hinata can naturally learn from Tsunade's 100 Healings Mark. But, Tsunade's 100 Healings Mark is not something anyone can practice. Take Shizune. She has followed Tsunade for decades. But I just can't learn it. Fortunately, the Dantian seal of the Night Wind has been developed to the pinnacle of the Grandmaster level. 100 Healings Mark looks to him. It's like a university professor doing elementary school mathematical Olympiad. There is no mystery at all. So, under the careful guidance of Yifeng, Ino and Hinata started 100 Healings Mark 6 months ago. Cultivation is not confusing right now, but the amount of chakra in our body is too small, and the accumulation of chakra is too slow. Ino sighed, looking a little lost. They thought they could catch the night breeze by learning the 100 Healings Mark. But what I did not expect is, after they learned the 100 Healings Mark, they really realized how big the gap between them and Yifeng is. It doesn't matter, this thing is dripping through the stone. As long as you practice hard, you can accumulate a lot of chakra sooner or later. Yifeng said with a smile. Okay, Ino, it's rare for Yifeng to come back early. Let's have hot pot together at noon. Hinata laughed. Okay, I haven't eaten hot pot for a long time, then let's go to my brother's house and eat it. Yes, Yifeng has now moved out alone. Do not ask. Asking is the soul of China, only by owning a house of your own will you feel at ease in your heart. The three came to Yifeng's house. Yifeng's house is very big. There is a very spacious yard. There are a lot of flowers and plants in the yard, and there are also some cute little animals. It will feel very warm. Yifeng's usual favorite is lying in his yard. Drink and drink. Enjoy the flowers. Work hard, leisurely. The three entered the door. A female ninja dressed in a servant costume immediately greeted her from the back room. You are back, what do you want to eat at noon? I will prepare now. Hot pot, the bottom of the Mandarin duck pot, the spicy half is pervert spicy. Okay. Neodyma turned and walked into the room. Began to get busy for everyone's lunch. Ino looked at the busy figure of Neodyma. The brow frowned. Brother, is this really good? I always think her betrayal of Cloud Shinobi Village is fake. She came to take refuge in you deliberately, maybe she wanted to find a chance to perform an assassination mission. Quote. Hearing the words, Yifeng swept his eyes on Neo's servant, and then smiled casually. It doesn't matter what her purpose is. Anyway, her current identity is just Sam, and Samui's character has been hidden deep in her soul by me. Quote. Yifeng glanced at Sam indifferently. A strange look flashed in his eyes. The neodymium servant of Yifeng is Samui. A year ago, Cloud Shinobi Village released the news. They said that Yifeng used the Yamanaka secret technique to plant the seeds that made her lurking in Samui's spiritual world. So, Reikage suspects that Samui is the spy of Night Wind in Cloud Shinobi Village. So Reikage imprisoned Sam Yi. Prepare to be executed another day. But, in a month of black and windy night, Samui escaped very, luckily. She went straight to Konoha Village. Take refuge in the Night Wind. At that time, many people in the village opposed the Yifeng harvesting Samui. But, for such a girl, Yifeng is always willing to come. As for the secret hidden in the corner, how could Yifeng be unclear? There have never been so many flukes in this world. The Xiao Juju Yifeng in Reikage's heart is clear. But, Yifeng didn't worry about Sammy's assassination at all. On the first night of their reunion, thunder and lightning, clouds and rain. Finally, at a perfect opportunity, Sam Yi resisted the joy in the depths of the soul, took out the kunai she had secretly hidden, and pierced Yifeng's throat. Generally speaking, at this time, a man would never expect that a woman who had been tamed by him would suddenly launch an attack. Such a blow was too abrupt. This is the result of Samui training countless times. Certainly, she trained by herself. However, when Samui's kunai pierced Yifeng's throat, Samui discovered that her perfect plan was nothing more than a flower in a mirror in the water. This seemingly well-planned perfect assassination. But it was a unique illusion that Yifeng had prepared for her. And Samui is like an actor. A very wonderful special performance was staged for the night breeze. That moment, Sam Yi's spirit collapsed directly. Sam also appeared at that time. And then, Sam released himself completely. A real ups and downs brought them a long-lost sense of pleasure. Since then, the night wind completely controlled Sam Yi's spiritual world. It took him 3 months. Finally, Sam's character was stabilized, and Sam Yi's character was completely hidden. Until now, sometimes the night wind is not clear whether Sam is or not Sam Yi. But, the happy feeling is no different from that in the border camp of the Country of Fire. Sam is actually quite poor. She has been abandoned by her own village. It must feel uncomfortable, the kind Hinata said while looking at Sam's busy figure in the kitchen. Hinata is 16 years old. The developmental areas are already well developed. Although she and Yifeng have not yet reached the last step. But, Hinata already knows some things. She knows the relationship between Yifeng and Sam. But, how to say, just like the mother said, men have such virtues, so there is nothing to care about. That's all. 4 people enjoyed a perfect hot pot meal at home. After feasting, they lay together in the yard of the night breeze, blowing a small breeze, looking at the clouds and clouds on the horizon. At this time, the system finally released the latest sign in task. Ding. Please host personally kill Deidara and Sasori, and then sign in next to Gaara's body. Yifeng frowned. Sit up from the rocking chair. See what this means. Is this that Shippuden is finally about to begin? But, want to sign next to Gaara's corpse, do I have to kill Sasori and Deidara of the Red Sand first? Sasori of the Red Sand is better to kill. After all, that guy was a bit overconfident, and even put such an obvious weakness in front of the enemy. At the speed of the night wind, killing Sasori is not a problem at all. But Deidara, if it's about comprehensive strength, Deidara is definitely not as good as Sasori. But Deidara has more nerves. Still a very pious old artist. If he is forced to send a big star out in a hurry. Still a little troublesome. So, Yifeng felt that if he wanted to kill Deidara, he had to get it out of his mind. I don't know if Sunagaku's request for help has been sent. This time, the head of the person cannot be snatched by Sakura and the others. Just when the night wind hesitated, an Anbu ninja came to Yifeng's house. Master Yifeng, 5th generation, please. This Anbu ninja is respectful. It demonstrates the status of night wind in Konoha village. Oh, looking for me. Yifeng was slightly taken aback. I heard that there was an emergency report from Sand Shinobi. I am not particularly clear about the specific situation, but the matter is urgent. Please rush over to Master Yifeng as soon as possible, Anbu ninja said. Yifeng felt relieved upon hearing this. At this time, Sand Shinobi sent an emergency report. Needless to say, Gaara must have been caught. Hokage office. Night wind in order not to waste time. He directly activated the Flying Thunder God, took Hinata and Ino, and came to Tsunade together. I redecorated the office 3 times. Where did you hide the Flying Thunder God imprint? Tsunade was startled by the sudden appearance of the night wind. She was really speechless about the way Yifeng played. My mother is also a village head. You just need to come in without knocking. Is it okay to come in directly with Flying Thunder God? Do you want the face of Mr. Lao Niang anymore? Can I have a little privacy? Master, what happened to Sand Shinobi? Ino asked straightforwardly when he came up. Gaara was caught by Akatsuki's people. Sand Shinobi couldn't find a clue, so she asked Konoha for help. Tsunade put down the intelligence scroll in his hand and briefly introduced the current situation. Akatsuki organization. What kind of organization is this? What are they doing to capture Feng Ying? Hinata asked puzzled. Yeah, how come you have never heard of this organization? What are they doing? Orochimaru will not make another mess again, right? Ino asked his soul 3 times with a look of surprise. In the worldview of Hinata and Ino, Orochimaru is already the biggest and most terrifying boss in the ninja world. They couldn't imagine how many big belly blacks were hidden behind the ninja world. I will explain to you about the Akatsuki organization slowly. Tsunade shook his head and looked at Yifeng and said, although you have just returned from your mission, I hope you can rush to Sand Shinobi as the first echelon. Go and find out what's going on there first. After all, the shadow of a village has been captured. This kind of thing is not trivial. And Konoha village, as Sand Shinobi's ally, can't sit idly by. But, based on Tsunade's understanding of the night breeze, she knew that what Yifeng hated the most was to perform such long-distance missions. What's more, he has just returned from a mission. But what Tsunade never expected was, Yifeng unexpectedly agreed very readily. Yes, I'll go back and make a brief preparation, and then I can set off. Yifeng took over the task simply and neatly. Then let's go too. Ino raised his hand, his face full of war. Neither her nor Hinata's class has had any assignments recently. If you can form a temporary team with Yifeng to support Sand Shinobi, then she can safely chop people. No, the water in Sunagakur is too deep, and it's easy for you to go there. Yifeng shook his head. Although Deidara's strength is not weak, but Sunagakur's own Fengying was arrested in his own village. The water inside this village must be deep. Of course. The main reason why Yifeng rejected Ino's request was that Deidara was too dangerous. What, brother? We are not children anymore. People are going to kill people too. When Ino heard that his brother wanted to get rid of her again, he was immediately anxious. I want to cut people, I want to cut people, I want to cut people. Think about important things 3 times. Yifeng, in fact, our strength has reached the level of Jonin, just trust us. Hinata also looked at Yifeng confidently and said, the two of them are not weak at first. Now I have learned a lot of medical ninjutsu from Tsunade. The comprehensive combat ability is extremely strong. Yifeng is right. The water in Sunagakur is also very deep. It's not appropriate for you two to go with Udum and Beishin. Tsunade shook his head. Although Gaara is young, but his strength is already relatively strong in this generation. Not to mention, Gaara is still one-tailed Jinchuriki. How could he be captured alive? And it's still at the entrance of my own village. Do all the ninjas of Sunagakur eat rice? When they attacked Konoha village a few years ago, didn't they hear that they were so weak? So, if third Hokage is smashed to death, it can still be pushed to the point where everyone can't crack the 4 purple flame array. So, Gaara and Deidara had a relationship with each other in full view. How come no one can help? If Sand Shinobi is really weak, it is estimated that it could be divided among the other 4 villages long ago. Ino pursed his mouth, muttering unconvincingly, although we are white and sweet, we are not stupid. She's Sister Chop, she's not stupid and sweet. Yifeng smiled and stroked their little heads. Did not say much. You too. Tsunade glanced at her 2 little apprentices helplessly. You can also participate in this support operation, but you cannot participate as the first echelon. Ah, can we also participate? Hinata looked at Tsunade in surprise. It's okay. The second echelon is also okay, as long as you can cut people. Ino laughed. Although it is the second echelon, but it's better than just staying in the village and waiting for news. This task is very important. Yifeng is the first echelon. After Ino and Hinata waited for the Kakashi class to assemble, they temporarily joined them as the second echelon. In addition, after the Might Guy class comes back, I will let them serve as the third echelon to support. If there is no problem, go back and prepare separately. Don't look at Tsunade being careless at the gaming table. But, in the big event, Tsunade has always been very cautious. The reason she sent Yifeng to Sand Shinobi first, it was because Tsunade felt that no matter what happened to Sunagakur, Yifeng had the courage and ability to make decisions. Tsunade also believes in the decision made by Yifeng. After leaving Hokage's office, the 3 of them went back to their homes, packed up combat supplies, and were ready to set off. Yifeng returned home. Sam had already prepared the knife kit and medical kit for Yifeng in advance. And a set of masks specially used for sand control were also prepared for him. Seeing you are in such a hurry, I guess there must be important tasks, so I prepared these in advance. Sam smiled and handed the things to Yifeng. Thanks. Yifeng took the backpack, looking at Sam meaningfully. Such a wise and virtuous servant. Hokage actually sent her over to perform such a silly assassination mission. What a silly one. If there is a chance in the future, if you can get Ram and Rem together and get a Sarah layout, then it seems to be even more powerful. No thanks, this is what I should do. Sam smiled softly, and then reminded, the country of wind is dry. I put some more hydrating agent in my backpack. Please drink more water and keep it safe. Body hydration. Well, I'm leaving. Yi Feng raised his hand to touch Sam's cheek, and kissed her on the forehead. Then, instantly disappeared in the yard. After the night wind leaves Konoha village, he displayed a ninjutsu specially used to drive on the road. Yefeng is called Yufeng technique. The principle of Yufeng technique is very simple. The night wind controls the incomparably pure wind-style chakra in the dantian, which emerges from the acupoints behind along the meridians, condensing into a pair of wind wings. Although this technique consumes chakra faster, but the flight speed is absolutely nothing to say. Less than half a day's effort. The night wind had already arrived at Sunagaku's door. Sunagaku is located in the middle of the desert. The architectural style of the whole village is permeated with a feeling of loneliness. Yi Feng looked up. The scenery in front of me is almost all the color of sand. The scenery here is too far from Konoha. Yi Feng shook his head and fell to the entrance of Sunagaku. At this time, a dozen sand shinobi ninjas jumped out from the dark. Stop, who is here? Hurry up and report your name. The wind shadow of Sunagaku was caught. The ninjas here have already begun to be all soldiers. Not to mention, the night wind comes by wind. It was very similar to Deidara, who was sitting with a big bird coming over to catch the shadow of their family. So, they all put on a vigilant appearance. I am a ninja from Konoha village. I am here to support you. Yi Feng shrugged. Yefeng has checked the entrance of Sunagaku with Byakugan. There are enchantments around this area, and there are a lot of detonation charms buried underground and on the surrounding walls. If anyone dares to break in, will definitely be bombed. Fortunately, he is an ally, and he doesn't need to push hard. Are you the support of Konoha village? It's nonsense. When we Sunagaku's ninja are fools. It's so arrogant. After Yi Feng reported to his home, Sunagaku's gatekeeper ninjas put on a pose that they wanted to attack the night breeze. This made Yi Feng somewhat puzzled. Counting the time, our request for help can only be delivered to Konoha village this morning, but you are here now, don't you think your acting skills are too bad? A gatekeeper ninja shouted sharply. At the same time, he has asked his companions to spread the news to the village. Any turmoil must be known to the leader. Only in this way can we not take the blame. Hey, I really served you guys. I'm so fast and I'm so helpless. Yi Feng shrugged silently. Then he threw Sand Shinobi's help scroll to the opponent. Look, this always proves that my identity is okay. Sand Shinobi gatekeeper ninja opened the scroll. Check it carefully. His face instantly turned pale. Sure enough, it is the help scroll of our village. Unexpectedly, the companion we sent to Konoha for help was also killed by you. What on earth do you want to do? Sand Shinobi's goalkeeper ninjas were filled with outrage. That's right, the scroll is real. Doesn't it mean that their companion who went to Konoha village for help was also killed by this person? Too cruel and inhumane. Hey, the brains of you people are really reasonable, and I'm really speechless, so let's wait for Baki to come out. Yi Feng sighed. Although the night wind could not enter Sunagaku, he felt a little speechless. But if you think about it carefully, it is understandable that Sand Shinobi Ninja is wary. After all, Feng Ying was arrested. It's just normal for people to be careful. Fortunately, Yefeng has used Byakugan to see that Baki is about to come. It's not a big problem to wait a moment. Baki is Sunagaku's elite Jonin. He is also the master of Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro. His position in Sunagaku is even higher than that of Hitaki Kakashi in Konoha village. Especially at this time, Sunagaku's fifth cage was caught by Akatsuki. The village has already turned into a pot of porridge. Baki has been busy in the village. But now, a ninja who looks like an enemy unexpectedly appeared outside the village. Also disguised as Konoha reinforcements. This is the end of the storm, but not addictive, and now want to outsmart. This is really an eventful time. Baki sighed with emotion. It didn't take long. He came to Sunagaku's gate. After he saw that the ninja waiting outside was Yi Feng. Baki is overjoyed. It turned out to be the Night Breeze Kun of Konoha village. No wonder the speed of support is so fast. Baki laughed. Of course Baki knew Yefeng. After all, Yi Feng is very famous in the shinobi world. He pushed back Eight Tails Jinchuriki and captured Eight Tails Jinchuriki disciples alive. He has never had a bad review for hundreds of S-level missions. He became the elite Jonin of Konoha village at the age of only 17 and is said to be a candidate for the next generation of Hokage. If Baki can't help the night breeze come out, that can only be said that Sunagaku's intelligence system is terrible. Baki, what's the situation with Sunagaku? Yi Feng asked straightforwardly about Sunagaku's situation. The situation. Not so good. Baki shook his head and sighed. If it is normal, a shadow of a village was caught. The first thing everyone needs to do is to save Feng Ying with all his strength. But today's Sand Shinobi Ninja village is undercurrents. Baki felt that he was about to be unable to hold it. Where's Kankuro? Why didn't I see him come out? Yi Feng asked knowingly. After Master Feng Ying was captured, Kankuro went to track the enemy, and when we found him, he was already very poisonous. Baki's expression instantly turned very ugly. At that time, Baki had a lot of warnings, let Kankuro just follow, don't do it. But, Kankuro was eager to save people and was abused by Sasori. Not only lost track of clues. He is still alive or dead. Lying in the intensive care unit of Sunagaku No. 1 Villagers Hospital for treatment. I see. Yi Feng gave Baki a meaningful look. It seems that Sunagaku's plot development is not bad from the big difference in Yi Feng's memory. It shouldn't be a big problem. Take me to see Kankuro first, I have a way to detoxify him, said Yi Feng. You can detoxify Kankuro. Baki was shocked when he heard this. Kankuro has been lying down for 2 days. Baki even invited 2 seniors, Chiyo and Ebizo, who had long since retired. But, although Chiyo and Ebizo are good at using poison, however, Sasori's poison level seems to be higher than theirs. The 2 old people have not found any clues about detoxification. Kankuro will not survive tomorrow. However, Yi Feng actually said he can detoxify. Is it necessary to make a fuss? Have you forgotten the scriptures? During the Second and Third Ninja World Wars, weren't all the poison in your village diffused by Konoha? It's the same now, Yi Feng said indifferently. Although he has never learned medical ninjutsu. However, he obtained a large box of universal antidote in a sign-in mission. The poison used to detox Sasori should be a piece of cake. After all, although this system is pitted, it does not abuse words. Saying that it is omnipotent should really be omnipotent. Baki was speechless for a while, with a slightly embarrassed expression, but it would be good to be able to detoxify, face is not so important anymore, well, then, I will take you to the intensive care unit now. Walk into Sunagaku. Yi Feng was taken directly to the first villager hospital in Sunagaku. From the scale of the hospital, Sunagaku's strength is indeed incomparable with Konoha. At this time, Chiyo and Ebizo are in the intensive care unit, repeatedly checking Kankuro's condition. The poison talent of that kid Sasori is above you and me. I didn't expect him to develop such a difficult poison. Chiyo looked sad. Obviously she has not found a way to detoxify. Hey, he intentionally poisoned Kankuro, but didn't kill Kankuro. It seems that he was deliberately challenging you, sister. Ebizo also sighed. Sasori is a genius, whether it is poison or puppetry. Sasori is second to none in the ninja world. Pity. He betrayed the village. If Sasori hadn't betrayed Sunagaku, he can definitely become the strongest wind shadow in Sunagaku history. If that's the case, Sunagaku will not be as depressed as it is now. Such a pity. At this time, Baki pushed the door in and invited Yi Feng in. Yi Feng-kun, Kankuro's injury is already very serious, please help to take a look. Baki said solemnly. Hear the sound. Chiyo and Ebizo turned back together. Chiyo saw the Konoha forehead protector on Yi Feng's forehead. Slightly stunned. Subsequently, she snorted coldly and said, what's going on? What are the people from Konoha village doing here? Yi Feng shrugged and answered Chiyo's question honestly. It's not because you can't figure it out, so I came to help. Mother-in-law, he is the ninja sent by Konoha village to support us. Baki saw that the 2 of them didn't give each other any face, and explained with a slightly embarrassing expression, we can't find Master Gaara. That's why I asked Konoha for help. Baki can actually understand the thinking of the generations of Chiyo. Although Konoha village and Sunagaku are allies. But, look at people at Chiyo's age. Konoha village is absolutely not trustworthy. But, this is an extraordinary period. Sand Shinobi must use the power of Konoha village. Must rely on the power of Night Wind. Tsunade is really generous. Our Sunagaku's fifth cage was arrested, and she sent a kid to support him. Isn't it too perfunctory? Chiyo dismissed. Think of Tsunade. The fire in Chiyo's stomach was a bit uncontrollable. She spent more than 10 years of energy. Various poisons have been developed for Sunagaku. Result: all cracked by Tsunade. Her decades of hard work turned out to be a stepping stone to make Tsunade famous. Although Chiyo is old, she is a woman after all, how could she not be angry? Mother-in-law, you may not know Yi Feng. Although he is young, he is already the #1 elite of Konoha village, Jonin. In the future, he may inherit the position of 6th Hokage in Konoha village. Konoha village has not been perfunctory. Baki smiled and explained. Oh, Yefeng, are you the Yamanaka with the sword? Chiyo frowned. She finally took a straight look at Yifeng. This kid turned out to be the Yamanaka Night Breeze who stood up to the crowd and prevented Shimura Danzo from succeeding Hokage. Yes, it's like a fake replacement. If someone pretends to be me, remember to tell me and I will kill him. Yifeng said casually. Huh, ninjas who use swords are really the same annoying. Chiyo snorted coldly. Yefeng-kun, don't be offended, the sister's son and daughter-in-law were killed by Konoha's White Fang. So she is definitely not aiming at you, what she hates is all the sword ninjas. Ebizo smiled and explained. But Baki felt that the atmosphere seemed more embarrassing. Mother-in-law, let the night wind detoxify Kankuro first. Baki sighed. Baki felt that if they let them continue to talk like this, maybe it will fight. Oh, you know how to detoxify, too? Ebizo asked, looking at Yifeng curiously. Ebizo knew that Yekaz was a swordsmanship ninja. But, is he also a medical ninja at the same time? Well, detoxification, it's easy. Yifeng walked up to Kankuro indifferently. He ignored Chiyo's rejection of him. To be honest, it is normal for elderly people who have experienced the baptism of war to be hostile to Konoha village. After all, his son and daughter-in-law died in the hands of Konoha village. If they are not dead, Sasori will not become a full boy. There will be no such thing as the present. Inject this medicine into Kankuro. This is an ancestral prescription from my Yamanaka family. It specializes in various intractable diseases. It is called Luwei Dewangye, which is very easy to use. Yefeng said, running the train with his mouth full. Huh, boy, you don't even read Kankuro's inspection report, just say you can cure his poison. Chiyo frowned. In Chiyo's view, Yifeng is a very flamboyant boy. Chiyo originally thought that he might really have a unique ability to detoxify. But, say it can be cured without reading the report. Is this too trivial? Look at the report. No need. This is an old prescription handed down from our ancestors. It's absolutely effective. It's a young man. Yifeng shrugged. Produced by the system. Can cure hundreds of poisons. It's so unreasonable. Ebizo stepped forward and took Luwei Dewangye from Yefeng's hands. Open it and smell it. The medicine is full of fragrance, it seems to have the effect of consolidating the essence, but it is not like an ordinary thing. Ebizo handed the antidote to Chiyo. Sister, you might as well take a look, maybe it's really useful. Chiyo took the medicine bottle. A meaningful look at Yifeng. Subsequently, she also opened the medicine bottle and smelled it like Ebizo. Really, it contains a variety of drugs to improve the body's resistance to toxicity. Wait for me to check. If there is no problem, I can give Kankuro a try. Chiyo said slowly. Although Chiyo still doesn't trust the night wind. But, Kankuro's situation is very dangerous today. If you still can't get rid of the poison by tomorrow, he must die without a doubt. So, at this time, the dead horse can only be a living horse doctor. In case Kankuro died after taking night wind's medicine, they can also take the opportunity to touch porcelain Konoha. Yefeng-kun, then let's go first, let the 1000-generation mother-in-law deal with it here. Let's discuss how to rescue Master Fengying. Baki raised his hand in an inviting pose. Now that Kankuro's matter has been settled. So, next, they should discuss the rescue of Gaara. Ebizo, go with them. Chiyo glanced at Yifeng. Nowadays, the water on the upper floors of Sunagaku is very deep. At this time, if the people from Konoha village also come in and mix up the water and make the water muddy, Sand Shinobi will be completely hopeless. So, Chiyo asked Ebizo to follow in order to watch the night breeze. Well, Let's all come together. Baki said helplessly. You older generations don't understand the friendship between young people at all. Sunagakur Fengying Office. The decoration of Fengying Office is very simple. So simple if you don't say this is Fengying's office. Yi Feng thought it was Baki's study. It shows that Sunagakur's economy is really average. 2. Please sit down, let me talk about the enemy's situation in detail. Baki said in an inviting posture. Although Fengying is gone, but discuss such an important matter. Baki still invited Yi Feng to Fengying's office. After all, Ye Feng is the representative of Konoha's reinforcements. I already know the details about Gaara, so you don't need to say more. Yi Feng waved his hand and said, but I'm curious. Although Deidara's tactics are full of specificity to Gaara, why didn't you guys have it at the time? Support him. Yi Feng raised the question in his heart without concealment. Baki and Ebizo glanced at each other. Subsequently, the two sighed together. The incident happened suddenly that day, and the fighting power in the village could not be assembled quickly. Moreover, Lord Gaara himself was Jinchuriki. At the time we thought he could definitely defeat the enemy. So, the people in the village are more worried that Shuhei will run away, that's why this happened. Quote. Baki explained the reason to Yi Feng with a look of shame. Anyway, it was indeed their carelessness at the time. Otherwise, Gaara won't be caught. After listening to Baki's explanation, Yi Feng looked at him thoughtfully. Gaara can become a wind shadow, and Baki's contribution is indispensable. So, Yi Feng would not doubt Baki. But it's hard for others to say. Worried that Fengying will be controlled by Shuhei and run away. After all, I don't trust Gaara. Afterwards, did you find a clue to Gaara? Yi Feng asked. He came this time to help find and rescue Gaara. So, first of all he has to know where Gaara is hidden by Akatsuki. This, I'm ashamed to say that, although Sunagakur also has intelligence ninjas and perception ninjas. So far, we have not found a clue to Master Gaara. Baki sighed again. The land of the wind is vast and sparsely populated. Due to the lack of funds in Sunagakur these years, the number of ninjas is decreasing, and the number of outstanding ninjas is even less. So, it is really difficult for them to find a clue to Gaara. But, at this time, Ebizo suddenly remembered something. When we found Konkuro yesterday, his puppet was holding a piece of cloth torn from Sasori. Don't you Konoha village have sensory ninjas who are good at using ninja dogs? You should be able to find them by smell. Ebizo said slowly. Yi Feng glanced at Ebizo rather silently. Can your dog smell the entire map? The dog in Konoha village can't smell the whole picture no matter how big it is. But, according to the memory of the night wind, the cave where Akatsuki displayed the magic dragon's 9 seals was sandwiched between the country of fire and the country of wind, the country of Sichuan. So, after Kakashi got the pieces of Sasori's clothes, he was lucky enough to find it. Give me Sasori's cloth and Gaara's clothes. I will send Summoning Beast to the second echelon who came to support. Yekaz said. Okay, I'm going to prepare now. Baki nodded. But, just when Baki was going out to prepare things, the door of Fengying's office was suddenly pushed open. San Shinobi, a middle-aged ninja with 3 Chinese character faces, walked in aggressively. They stared sharply at the night wind. His eyes were full of hostility. Baki, how are you thinking about the suggestion we made this morning? Yeah, now that Fengying has been arrested, Sunagakur can't stay away for a day. We need to select a candidate for the 6th generation Fengying as soon as possible. Baki, we also know that you have a good relationship with Gaara. But Akatsuki grabbed Gaara because it must be the tail beast in his body. Jinchuriki would definitely not be saved without the tail beast. There is no need to spend resources to rescue it. Quote. After the 3 people entered the door, their arrogance was very arrogant. The words are very explicit. At first glance, they knew that they had seen Gaara upset. Haha, it's really interesting. Your Fengying has been captured. You don't rush to gather your strength to save him, but instead want to abolish his Fengying position. No wonder Sunagakur is getting worse and worse. Yi Feng looked at the 3 ninjas who entered the door sarcastically. Thinking in my mind, sure enough, the water in every village is very deep. Konoha village guy, choosing the wind and shadow is our Sunagakur business, why are you an outsider here to make trouble? That's right. I think Konoha village has a ghost in your heart, and you want to take this opportunity to suppress us. Yes, we don't need the Konoha village people to point fingers, the ninjas of Konoha village will let us go. The three middle-aged ninjas with Chinese character face pointed at Yi Fang's nose together. Aggressive. This moment, Baki's face instantly turned pale. He is about to have an attack. Yi Fang stood up from the sofa. It seems that your intelligence system is not very powerful. Don't you know that what I hate the most is that others point me at me? Yi Fang let out a smirk. Then, the black knife flicked across. 3 fingers fell neatly to the ground. Blood sprayed all over the place. Don't say it's you passers-by and passers-by. Even the elders of Konoha village have been cut off by me for speaking at me. How dare you make a mistake? Yi Fang looked at them with disdain. What happened to Tongmeng village? He will chop whoever dares to jump in front of him. This is the style of the night breeze. This moment, Baki and Ebizo were completely shocked. These 3 are not passers-by and passers-by. They are all patriarchs in Sunagaku. Yi Fang cut off their fingers like this. Really enjoyable. Asshole. You, Konoha village intruder, dare to openly attack us in Sunagaku. You are so bold. Konoha village intervened in our Sunagaku affairs, do you want to start a war? Sand Shinobi is not afraid of the 4th Ninja War. Baki, the person you invited is really wolfish ambition. The 3 middle-aged ninja Sand Shinobi picked up the severed finger together. Sprinkle powder to suppress the injury. Then, they began to accuse Baki, the Night Wind, and Konoha village. To this, Yi Fang smiled faintly. These useless words, I advise you not to say more. I just want to tell you one thing. My mission to Sunagaku this time is to rescue 5th Hokage from Sunagaku. If anyone hinders me from completing the mission, it is me. The enemy of Yamanaka Night Wind. The principle of Night Wind is simple. He will cut anyone who stands in his way. Baki, I just chopped off one of their fingers this time, which is a bit of face for Tamari. After all, she is my brother's woman, but if people in your village dare to prevent me from saving Gaara, don't blame me for being ruthless. Quote. Yi Fang said this very emboldened. Anyway, I cut down your people to save your Fengiying. Forgive you for nothing to say, right? At this time, 3 national character faces Sand Shinobi middle-aged ninja finally figured out the situation. It turns out that this kid is the murderous Night Wind in Konoha village. It is said that he can not only chop enemies, initiated soaring. A guy who can slash even his own people. Don't worry, Yefeng-kun, Sunagaku will never give up when it comes to saving 5th Hokage. Let me take care of the village affairs. Baki's expression sank. These guys have always been dissatisfied with Gaara. Baki knows very well, but it's all about getting out to make trouble. Now that Gaara has been arrested, they are not only passively sabotaging their work, but also trying to give up rescue Gaara. Really, is Baki blinking an eye to kill someone? Baki drove the 3 patriarchs out, and decided that in the future, he would also be like the Night Wind, and be more decisive. Even if it is to one's own person. Yefeng-kun, please wait for me, I'll go get Sasori and Gaara's clothes now. Baki said. It didn't take long. Baki took the cloth pieces that Kankuro had brought back and Gaara's clothes. Yefeng casually summoning made a communication frog and asked it to find Naruto with something. Then, Yefeng is going to find a quiet place to recover the chakra consumed by using the wings of wind. After all, he had to deal with 2 masters in Shao organization at one time this time. It is better to fill up the status. Yi Feng is about to leave. At this time, Chio is here again. She looked at the Night Wind meaningfully, and slowly said, the antidote is no problem, I have injected Kankuro in. According to the latest test report, he has been out of danger, and he can recover at most after 2 days of rest. Oh, I'll just say to cure all diseases. Yi Feng smiled disapprovingly. Chio looked at Yi Feng for a while, and finally sighed. Unexpectedly, Konoha village will actually help us. It seems that the old man's views on you are really a bit behind. Actually for Chio, the most important thing is not that the Night Wind saved Kankuro's life. But Yi Feng handed her the detoxification potion so generously. Isn't he afraid of Sand Shinobi's targeted modified poison to crack their antidote? But obviously, they are not afraid. Is this trust? Is this the fetters between Shinobu Village and the new era? Of course, if this thought of Chiyo is known by the Night Wind, he might say, just based on your level of drug production. Also want to crack the antidote produced by the system. What a trouble. Early the next morning, the communication frog returned with the information that Kakashi had investigated. Yi Feng stopped the training at hand and found Baki and Chiyo in the hospital. Kakashi has found out the approximate location of Gaara. I'm going to meet them. I will leave you a signal along the way. You can catch up later. Yekaz said. Okay, then there will be Lao Yefeng-kun. Baki was overjoyed in his heart. They finally found a clue to Feng. Wait a minute, the old man will also go together. Chiyo stopped Yi Feng. Gaara is also Sunagaku's wind shadow. The thing to rescue Feng. How could it be possible to completely let Konoha make a move? Then where is Sunagaku's face? You are all shameless. Chiyo, it's not that I deliberately targeted you. I actually wanted to say that it's impossible for you to keep up with Sand Shinobi's speed, so you still follow the marks I left behind. Bar. Yi Feng shrugged. Then put your hands together. A pair of wind wings condensed from pure wind-style chakra unfolds. The night wind rose into the sky, disappeared in the sight of Chiyo and Baki. Chiyo, it is indeed the 6th Hokage of Konoha village in the future. It has developed such an amazing wind-style ninjutsu, even stronger than our Sunagaku, which is famous for wind style. Baki swallowed. He had long heard that the night wind was unusual. But see you today. Baki really realized the power of the night breeze. Konoha village. This is really an enviable and jealous village. Chiyo sighed. Konoha village has some amazing ninjas in almost every era. They tend to be able to dominate the group at a young age. At this point, Sunagaku really can't compare. Ms. Chiyo, I'm going to assemble rescue troops now, so you can stay in the village and sit in town. Baki looked at Chiyo and said. Chiyo is old after all. Baki felt that she had better not toss. In case it's bad to go out and hang up. Baki, don't really think of me as an old man. Chiyo looked into the distance meaningfully and said, I used to be Sunagaku's strongest female ninja, stronger than Yekora. Gurgling, Baki swallowed, although what Chiyo said is not wrong. But, Ninja Twilight is a very frustrating thing after all. So, is it really okay for her to go? Sister, since it is possible to face Sasori in the past this time, do you want to bring that set of puppets with you? Ebizo's eyes were solemn, obviously, facing a master like Sasori. Even if Ebizo believes that his sister Chiyo should be fine. But he still felt that this task was dangerous. Well, take them. It's time to love my grandson whom I haven't seen for a long time. The mother-in-law of the 1,000 generations had a firm look. The head of Sasori must belong to my old man. The country of River is located in the southern part of the country of Rain. It is a small Guo-ja caught between the country of Fire and the country of Wind. After Deidara caught Gaara, he followed the agreed plan. Brought Gaara to the secret base of the Kunyuki organization. At this time, in a dark cave, the members of Akatsuki's organization are standing on the Gedo statue, each maintaining the posture of Jayin. With the help of the Gedo statue, they extracted the one-tail show crane from Gaara's body. But, the Akatsuki members here except Sasori and Deidara are the ontology. The others are just phantoms. Hey, when will this ninjutsu come to an end? It's boring to death after these 3 days. Hidan sighed helplessly. Did not kill for 3 days. His scythe was really thirsty. In Hidan's view, it's impossible to live this kind of life where you can't kill. And if he doesn't sacrifice his life to Lord Cthulhu again, Lord Cthulhu would probably be unhappy too. Well, there is no bounty for 3 days. Such days are indeed a bit boring. Kakuzu is also obviously a little impatient. Speaking of Kakuzu-senpai, you made so much money, why don't you see our treatment improve? Deidara curled her lips. He felt like he hadn't changed his clothes for a long time. Although Deidara is not a person who cares about money. But he always feels that there seems to be a small problem in the internal finances of the organization. You should ask Conan this question. After all the money is in her. Kakuzu said. Someone in his role is only interested in making money, not in spending money. Please find a woman for spending money. There have been no problems with internal finances, so you can rest assured that your efforts are meaningful. Conan said slowly. After all, those 600 billion detonating charms were bought at a discount. No loss at all. Just rest assured that you can make money for me. Everyone keeps a good rhythm. In another half an hour, we can complete the capture of one tail. Heavenly Pen interrupted their discussion. I'm afraid that Conan's shopping style will be exposed. After all, isn't it just the detonation symbol of a warehouse? As long as Conan likes it, just buy it. Well, since there is only half an hour left, let's bear it again. Hidan sighed. This ghost seal. It's finally over. Another 15 minutes passed. Black Zetsu suddenly said, an enemy is approaching us. From the east is the Kakashi team from Konoha village, and from the west is the Yamanaka Night Wind from Konoha village. Do you want to send someone to stop them? Have you finally been discovered by Konoha? Fortunately, it's only 10 minutes after the best. Pain took a meaningful look at Gaara floating in the center and said, Kisame, Itachi, you control me to prepare for you in advance. Alright, the elephants turn their avatars and stop them. Is it like Zhuan technique? If we only have 30% of our strength, I want to stop the Yamanaka Night Wind, it seems to be a bit too big. Hoshigaki Kisame grinned. Although they are strong. But, do you want to stop Yamanaka Night Wind with only 30% of the power? Impossible. There is no need to stop it completely, as long as it can delay for a while. Pain said. Is it just procrastinating? That shouldn't be a problem. Kisame looked at Uchiha Itachi and smiled. Mr. Itachi, my chakra base is relatively large, so leave it to me at Yamanaka. Good. Uchiha Itachi replied indifferently. Well, the reinforcements of Konoha village will be handled by their two clones. Everyone will try their best to extract one tail. Pain said. Then, 3 minutes later, Hoshigaki Kisame opened his eyes. Boss, sorry, my clone has been given a second by Yamanaka. This moment, the expression on Hoshigaki Kisame's face is wonderful. Kisame knew that the night wind was strong. But he never thought that Yifeng would be so strong now. Although the avatar is only 30% of his power. But he couldn't even resist Yifeng's casual knife. 3 minutes later, Uchiha Itachi also opened his eyes. Sorry, I also failed there. The new generation of Konoha village has grown up very well. Uchiha Itachi said without any emotion in his voice. Uchiha Itachi's original plan was to use illusion to delay time. After all, his clone has only 30% of the power, unable to use Mangekyo Sharingan's abilities. But, the opponent's lineup is very gorgeous this time. A Hitaki Kakashi who owns Mangekyo Sharingan. A Nine-Tails Jinchuriki that can rub Big Ball Rasengan. There is also Hyuga Hinata, who can use the Hyuga clan's ultimate Ubiyu step double lion boxing at a young age. Plus a harassment with swordsmanship from time to time. From time to time, Yamanaka Ino turned around and attacked by technique. Uchiha Itachi quickly failed. Absolutely, let's see how far they are from here. Pain frowned. Obviously, he didn't expect Itachi and Kisame to fail so quickly. Although most of the power of one-tail Shuhei has been absorbed by Gedo statue. But, if there is any omission, eventually it will affect the ultimate power of Gedo statue. Time should be in a hurry, but Sasori and Deidara probably don't have time to transfer. They are afraid that they are going to fight a tough battle next. Ju said. After all, the others are phantoms. As long as the Magic Dragon's 9-sealed seal technique is completed, they will be removed directly. But Deidara and Sasori are different. They are likely to be caught in the urn. Oh, really poor two people. It's a pity that you can't have immortality like me and Kisame, otherwise you don't have to worry about anything at all. Hidan said heartlessly. Cut, isn't it the ninja of Konoha village? I can even catch Funging alive, let alone them. What's more, Big Brother Sasori is here too. You all know how good Big Brother Sasori is. Quote. The corners of Deidara's mouth rose. A confident smile appeared. What's Sasori? Kakuzu is the best, okay. Even the first Hokage of Konoha village was killed by him. Hidan vowed, I have Admiral Kakuzu to kill first Hokage. Quote. Quote. Everyone. At this time, Kakuzu turned red and sternly shouted at Hidan, Hidan. What are you talking about nonsense? Who told you I killed first Hokage? Although Kakuzu is older, the skin is thicker, but he can't afford to make jokes like this. What kind of player is first Hokage? Wood style can almost show off their entire organization with one hand, right? Can he kill first generation? In those days. Thinking of this, Kakuzu sighed silently. Ah, didn't you tell me? You said that you had assassinated first Hokage. Although you were unsuccessful in the assassination at the time, he seemed to die soon. Does his death have nothing to do with you? Hidan asked suspiciously. This can't be done. Kakuzu's eldest brother always said that he had played against first Hokage. And he also assassinated first Hokage. Isn't he caused the death of first Hokage? How did first Hokage die? Can't figure it out. Haha, I've heard of this old terrier. Senior Kakuzu threw a shuriken at first Hokage 800 miles away. Isn't that what you said? Deidara laughed. Shut up, Kakuzu said coldly. Who dares to mention this again? Don't blame me for being rude to you. Okay, just kidding. Deidara said with a nonchalant smile. Sure enough, it is an elderly person. I can't afford to make a joke at all. Sasori, Deidara, the ninja that Konoha sent this time is very strong, you must not take it lightly. Tendo Pain exhorted. The opponent can kill Itachi and Kisami's elephant turn clones so quickly. This shows that the opponent's strength is very strong. Although Nagato also knows that Sasori and Deidara are not weak. But I'm still afraid that they will be too far away to give people away. Don't worry, you should be very clear about the strength of me and Deidara. A hoarse voice came from Sasori's puppet Fei Liuhu. None of the art duo are regular ninjas. They attack uniquely. The tactics are also very flexible. So, they are really confident in themselves. No one can take our heads away. If there is a chance, try to avoid fighting. We have a long time to come. Pain reminded again. The members of Akatsuki's organization were carefully selected by him. Each is a strong one on its own. It can be said. Without their words, Nagato's next mission is difficult to carry out. So, Pain didn't want them to have trouble. A few minutes passed by in the blink of an eye. The one-tail show crane in Gaara's body has been completely sucked into the body by the Gedo statue. Heavenly Dao Pain lifted the Magic Dragon's 9-season spell. All other members disappeared. Only Deidara and Sasori were left. Senior Sasori, do you want Gaara's corpse? He is Sunagaku's 5th cage. If you take it back and make it a puppet, it should be very cool. Deidara laughed. Deidara knew that Sasori had made 3rd cage a puppet. If he makes 5th cage a puppet, then there should be a lot of wind. This kind of guy who relies on the tail beast to become funnying is not worthy of being my puppet. Sasori said in a cold voice. The people of Sunagaku seemed to have a deep contempt for Jinchuriki. Well, there is no way, I just take him back to make a wind shadow bomb. Deidara's mouth raised. Deidara's favorite thing is explosions. He is going to make Gaara a ninja scam, and then go directly to bomb Sunagaku. My village was bombed by my own funnying. Thinking of that scene, Deidara felt that there were countless artistic cells all over his body dancing. Then, Deidara summoned a big clay bird. Tie Gaara to the bird's back. Then jumped up. Brother Sasori, come up too, and I will take you away. Deidara's voice just fell. Boom, an explosion sounded. But, Deidara was not the one who caused the explosion. It's the night breeze. Sorry, it is too troublesome to crack your 5 enchantments. Personally, I prefer this more direct method. The smoke dissipated. Yi Feng carried a black knife. Appeared in front of Deidara and Sasori of the red sand. What? You are too low level. You are insulting art. And, who is your special code? Deidara raised his hand to drive away the smoke. Looked at Yi Feng with contempt. Use gunpowder to create an explosion. This is too bad. In addition, when it comes to art, I might really have to stand against you. In my eyes, only beautiful young ladies can be called art. The moment of explosion and the eternity of the puppets, in my opinion, are pure nonsense. Yi Feng spread his hands. He suddenly didn't want to discuss art with these two people. After all, he felt that he should have nothing to discuss with these two single dogs. What young lady? Is it interesting for young lady to make a duster? I feel bored. Right, Sasori-senpai. Deidara grinned disdainfully. In his opinion, Miss Sister is not as cute as a clay doll. Deidara, you go first, this person is very interesting, I want to fight him. Sasori said suddenly. Brother Sasori, aren't you? He actually made you so interested. Don't you think young lady is art? A surprised look appeared on Deidara's face. Sasori is very strong. In Deidara's view, in the entire Akatsuki organization, apart from the leader Pain, no one can defeat Sasori of the Red Sand. But his senior Sasori is so interested in this boy. It could only be because of art. His name is Yamanaka Night Wind. He is the elite Jonin of Konoha village, but I don't like this. What I like is his accomplishments in the puppet technique. Sasori of the Red Sand said slowly. He is Yamanaka Night Wind. Deidara frowned. In the general information of the ninja world, Yakuza is defined as a swordsmanship ninja. But when did he become a puppet ninja again? And is it art to make young lady a puppet? At most, there are more weird movements. Yes, you can go, and help me with Konoha's other reinforcements by the way. After Sasori finished speaking, opened Fei Liuhu directly, revealing his true body. After all, it is useless for a master to recruit Fei Liuhu. Hi, brother Sasori, is this the real you? You look more delicate than me. Deidara was shocked. The big brother Sasori in his mind was supposed to be a terrible old man. But now, the man is properly collapsed. Roll. Well, it's really as rough as ever. Then, Deidara detonated the clay dust he had reserved at the secret exit. Flew out on a big clay bird. Yi Feng did not stop him. But he left a shadow clone outside long ago. Shadow clone will follow Deidara all the way. By the time, Yi Feng can easily cut into the battlefield with Flying Thunder God. Although in the intelligence of various countries, it is said that you are a powerful swordsmanship ninja, but in fact you are also a puppet ninja, right? Sasori of the Red Sand asked. There are many informants under Sasori. Once, in a little-known town, an informant from Sasori saw the scene of Yefeng using puppets to fight. Judging from that puppet's action response, Yefeng's puppetry skills should not be low. So, Sasori has always been interested in the night breeze. I am a ninja, whether it is a swordsmanship ninja or a puppet ninja, they are all ninjas. Yi Feng said casually. In that case, please show your puppet. Sasori said while looking at Yi Feng. A puppet? I'm sorry, I don't like that kind of combat. Would you like to change the way of death? Yi Feng hesitated. He made suggestions with a sincere expression. Haha, another way of death. Akasago no Sasori looked at the night breeze with an indifferent expression. Have to say, the night wind is very arrogant. But it is normal for young people to be arrogant at all. I don't think so. As long as you are willing to use a puppet to fight with me, after you die, I can make you an adult puppet, as my collection, how about it? Sasori let out a sneer. Yi Feng frowned. It seems that Sasori is really passionate about the pursuit of art. He could even say such shameless words. But, although Yefeng's puppet is also very strong, but Yi Feng prefers the feeling of taking a knife and cutting people in person. Not to mention, the puppets of the Night Wind are rewarded for the sign-in task, which is different from the regular puppets in the ninja world. Yi Feng worried that after he took it out, he might be sprayed. But Yakuza saw that Sasori was so enthusiastic about his new puppet, and he couldn't bear to let him die with regret. Hey, Yi Feng sighed. To be honest, when it comes to the realm of puppetry, I should be considered an old artist. As your predecessor, it is not impossible for me to satisfy your thirst for knowledge before you die. Quote. Finished. Yi Feng hesitantly took out a seal scroll from the knife bag. After the seal, boom, a puff of white smoke disappeared. Yefeng's puppet appeared in front of Sasori. Sasori looked at the puppet of the Night Wind carefully. Nodded indifferently. Humanoid puppets are the most difficult to control. Yi Feng's ability to use this kind of puppet is enough to show that his puppet technique is online. And this puppet is made of metal, and the muscles of the upper and lower body are very full. The combination of red and gold is also very eye-catching. Full of artistic sense. It's a pity that it is a metal puppet. Under the magnetic shield of my third cage puppet, it will become useless. Sasori shook his head. Although the metal is strong, its defects are also obvious. Especially in front of Sasori's magnetic shield. Any metal is useless. Nor, the material of my puppet is neither copper nor iron nor steel. I used to. It uses special materials manufactured by cutting-edge nanotechnology. Yi Feng shook his head. Dignified Mark 50. If it can be scrapped by magnet style. What kind of earth does Iron Man guard? Nanomaterials. What is that? Sasori asked with a frown. Don't ask, you don't understand if you ask. After all, you haven't even graduated from elementary school normally. Yi Feng showed disdain in his eyes. It's not that someone is proud of him. In terms of knowledge level, the 9 years of compulsory education he had received in his previous life was enough to allow him to crush the sentient beings in the shinobi world. As for why it is 9 years without mentioning the 4 years of university, that's because the focus of the 4 years of college is playing games. The level of knowledge may have dropped. HMPH, I think you are just playing mystery. Since you insist on using the Iron Man to fight against me, don't blame me for bullying you. Sasori snorted coldly. Summon the third cage puppet. Then, he began to control third cage to perform various magnetic shield ninjutsu. Magnet-style sand-iron shigur. Long shield. Magnet-style sand-iron giant needle. Bucket. Magnet-style sand-iron triangular pyramid. Small hand hammer. Magnet-style sand-iron cylinder. Large hand hammer. Magnet-style sand-iron wall. Palm arc pulse cannon. Magnet-style sand-iron no wing. Magnet-style sand-iron top. This round, Sasori directly controlled third cage and issued 2 kinds of magnetic shield ninjutsu at the same time. Powerful, but the Iron Man of Nightwind is not worth it. Large pulse electromagnetic hand cannon. Rumble. Although the attacks of Sasori of the Red Sand were endless, they were all repelled one by the Iron Man of Nightwind. How is this possible? It is really unaffected by the magnetic shield. This material is really not metal. At last, Sasori of Akasago showed a surprised look on his face. For a puppet ninja, the method of manipulating puppets is of course very important. But the techniques and materials used to make the puppets are also crucial. And now, such a new type of puppet appeared in front of Sasori. Suddenly, Sasori of the Red Sand felt like he had opened the door to new world. As long as it can solve the mystery of the Nightwind puppet. He set foot on a more beautiful artistic level. Well, you have already shown my puppet as you wished, can I kill you now? Yi Feng shrugged and was about to draw his sword. At this time, the face of Sasori of Akasago suddenly showed anger. It seems that I was underestimated. Don't you think that the third generation puppet is everything to me? The voice fell. Sasori of Akasago took out another scroll from behind. After opening, hundreds of hideous puppets flew out of the scroll. This trick is called the Red Secret Skill 100 Machine Performance. This is the highest state of the puppet ninja. Usually, a puppet ninja can control more than a dozen puppets at the same time. But, Sasori of Red Sand can control hundreds of puppets at the same time. The power is quite strong. It is said that he also used this trick to kill a little Guo Jia. I don't know which Guo Jia is so unlucky. It turned out to be Sasori's background board. Do you want to win by number? Yi Feng raised his mouth and smiled faintly. Then I'm really embarrassed, there are still 99 Iron Man like this one in my scroll. Bang bang bang. Clouds of white smoke rose. 100 Iron Man army composed of Mk-50 took shape in an instant. I saw it. All kinds of high-energy weapons flew together. In an instant, Sasori of Akasha's 100 operations performance was smashed to pieces. This. How is it possible? What kind of ninjutsu are you using? Sasori of Akasha looked at the Iron Man all over the sky suspiciously. He couldn't believe that everything that happened before him was real. To know, although his acting as a puppet with hundreds of machines seemed unremarkable. But they are all made of the most precious and hardest materials in the ninja world. How could it be so easy to be defeated by the opponent? And, Sasori carefully observed the fighting style of the Nightwind puppets. Yi Feng obviously didn't use chakra silk thread to manipulate these puppets. Why can they cooperate so cleverly to fight? Sasori couldn't understand what was happening before him. This is not scientific at all. Sasori roared hysterically. No, you are wrong, this is the real science. The sound of the Nightwind appeared abruptly behind Sasori of the Red Sand. Puff! A black blade passed through his chest. The chakra regeneration core that pierced Sasori of the Red Sand. How do you know this is my weakness? Sasori's neck stiffly twisted 180 degrees. Looking at Yi Feng in astonishment. Subsequently, the vitality in his pupils finally began to fade. Whether I know it is your chakra-regenerated nuclear, but for anyone with normal combat experience, the first thing to cut is the heart. So why can't you hide the regenerated nucleus in a more concealed location? Quote. Yi Feng shook his head speechlessly. Sasori has transformed his body into a humanoid puppet. As long as the chakra-regenerating nuclear on his left chest is not destroyed, Sasori will not die. But, shouldn't such a pseudo-indestructible body hide the dead hole? Is it really good to put it in the heart just like this? He also wrote a big, Sasori, in red pen. Is this clearly a provocation? Anyone can cut a knife, right? After Yi Feng killed Sasori, he opened the task panel. Really, the task details are there. Sasori's name has turned gray. Gaara's body is ready-made, then as long as Deidara is killed, I can complete this check-in. After Sasori died, Yi Feng retracted the Iron Man Legion into the scroll. Then, he shook his head silently. These Iron Man suits can fight automatically. It is very cool to use. However, fighting with Iron Man requires energy. Yi Feng couldn't charge them. So Ye Feng is not particularly willing to waste electricity. It's a pity, I guess I can only keep it as a figure in the end. No way. After all, Yi Feng is the one who walks the mysterious side. He couldn't create Iron Man's high-end energy reactor out of thin air in the ninja world. Otherwise, it is also a very interesting thing for him to climb technology in the ninja world. After the Night Wind came out of the cave, he activated the secret arts of the Yamanaka clan, established contact with Shadow Clone, and learned about the Deidara battlefield. It seems that Deidara has already played against Kakashi and the others. It is as expected. It looks like there have been several episodes of fighting, but in fact it only took a few minutes. Yi Feng shook his head, launched Flying Thunder God and teleported to the location of Shadow Clone. Then, he came to Ino and Hinata in a flash. Are you not hurt? Yi Feng touched their cute little heads. Some fear. We weren't hurt, but I didn't kill anyone either. Ino sighed. Deidara can fly, so, although Ino wanted to chop him, he couldn't reach him at all. The Night Wind disarms the Shadow Clone. All the memories of Shadow Clone merged into Yi Feng's mind. The Kakashi team and Deidara's matchup was similar to what Ye Feng had imagined. Deidara can fly, so only Kakashi can remotely attack Deidara through Kamui. But judging from the current state of Kakashi, using Kamui obviously caused a lot of pressure on him. It's okay if you are all right, then let me take care of that guy. Yi Feng smiled. You go on the group. Just leave the head to me. Ah, which guy? Are you talking about Deidara? He just wanted to blow himself up. He has been dealt with by Mr. Kakashi. Naruto said proudly. Although Naruto has always felt that his teacher Kakashi is a little weak. But, Mr. Kakashi's Mangekyo is really awesome. You are mistaken, the one that blew up was just Deidara's clay clone, his real body is actually hidden in the soil. After Yi Feng finished speaking, the corner of his mouth was gently picked, revealing a slight sarcasm. Subsequently, he threw out a kunai with a detonation talisman tied to its tail. Boom! After an explosion, Deidara really got out of the soil. Misty grass, don't you need money for the detonation talisman? Deidara said angrily. He was such a perfect clay clone, he thought he had deceived everyone. I didn't expect to be discovered by Yi Feng. How did he do it? Is this your last word? Yi Feng shrugged, ready to do it. Cut, it's as if you can kill me. Deidara glared at Yi Feng. But, he was still a little afraid of Yi Feng in his heart. After all, the Night Wind is coming. It means that Sasori has been killed by him. Deidara has partnered with Sasori for many years, and he knows Sasori's strength very well. And now, this Yamanaka Night Wind killed Sasori-senpai so quickly. Senior Sasori's puppet art is different from mine, but we are most seeking the same art. Since you killed him, I won't let you go for sure. Deidara said solemnly. Deidara doesn't have many friends. There is only Sasori in the entire ninja world. And now, his only friend was killed by Yi Feng. So, of course Deidara wants to avenge him. One of your arms has been scrapped by Kakashi. Why don't you let me go? Can you just let it go? A hint of sarcasm appeared on the corners of Yi Feng's mouth. What's the matter with mouth cannons? Mouth cannons are also art, and I will show you what the highest level of art is now. Deidara has already decided to avenge Sasori. In order to prove to Yifeng that Miss Sister is not art, he decided to bloom himself. Let them see what is the ultimate art. Then, Deidara tore Akatsuki's clothes apart, triggered the curse that Akatsuki members must die if they strip off their clothes. Then, he showed the weird big mouth on his left chest. He yelled with excitement on his face. Art is to send great stars. The voice fell. Deidara took out a piece of clay. I want to tuck into the weird mouth in my chest. No, Yifeng, he wants to blew himself up again. Naruto yelled at Yifeng. This guy just blew himself up like that. But it was just a clone. Now that the body blew up, wouldn't it be necessary to blast into the sky? Crap, my Sharingan has no power to activate anymore. Is everyone going to be blown up here? Kakashi was also stunned. What kind of routine is this on the other side? Blow if you can't beat it. Do you want to be so rigid? And, why is my plugin so strong, but it always enters the cooling time at the critical moment? Obviously, both of them panicked, but, at this time, suddenly, Ino's legs fell into Hinata's arms. Then, Deidara's expression suddenly became weird. Haha, I was finally hit, brother, next you say what to do. Ino version Deidara said. That's right, the timing is right, but it's a new generation of Ino Shikacho. Yifeng smiled, walked in front of Deidara, touched her, little head. Then he put the knife on his neck. Withdraw, ha. Yifeng and Ino work perfectly together. Ino's spirit has just been removed from Deidara's body. The blade of Yifeng has already waved. Puff, Deidara. Die. After getting Deidara, Yifeng came to Gaara's body. Finally, the sign-in can be completed. Ding. It is detected that the host has met the check-in conditions, and now it starts to check in. The countdown is 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ding. Congratulations to host for signing in successfully and getting rewards, Dantian Yin Penultimate. Boom. A majestic force swept through Yifeng's body. Yifeng finally broke through the limits of the Dantian Yin Grandmaster. At this time, his pubic space has increased 3 or 4 times compared to before. And, the concentration of chakra in the Night Breeze Dantian has also undergone a qualitative change, from a gaseous chakra to a foamy chakra. The chakra of the tail beast seems to be a bubble chakra. Has my current chakra reached this level? Yifeng thought in his heart. The tail beast is very strong. On the one hand, it is because the amount of chakra in their bodies is really large. Another aspect is that their chakra quality is far better than that of ninjas. A drop of the tail beast chakra can reach a large group of gaseous chakra of Jonin. So it is strong. And now, Yifeng did it too. Next, Yifeng and they took Gaara's body towards Sunagaku. On the way they met a group of Chio. Not surprisingly, Chio used the secret technique to save Gaara. So far, Sunagaku's mission was successfully completed. 2 days later, Yifeng and his group returned to Konoha village. The Night Wind reported the details of the mission to Tsunade. Kakashi was admitted to the intensive care unit of the hospital as usual. Unexpectedly, that fellow Chio actually developed the forbidden technique of reincarnation. Fortunately, their second stage experiment was not successful, otherwise Sunagaku would be really terrible. After Tsunade listened to Yifeng's report, support your cheeks with both hands. Falling into memories. The second phase of the experiment. What does this mean? Yifeng asked. Yifeng was somewhat impressed with his own reincarnating technique. But what Sand Shinobi's experimental Night Wind is not clear. After all, Sunagaku's plot is not Yifeng's favorite. When that fellow Chio was commanding Sand Shinobi's puppet troops, he proposed a plan to give life to the puppets, and the self-rebirth technique is the first stage of this plan. Tsunade looked out the window and said thoughtfully. Tsunade still admires Chio very much. She is an amazing female ninja. But, fortunately, Sunagaku's plan failed. Otherwise, once those puppets made with special materials have life, are they still puppets? The ghost knows what terrible ninjutsu will be developed by Sunagaku's punk. By the way, Sunagaku found some information about Orochimaru from Sasori. Do you want to hear it? Yifeng said while looking at Tsunade. Orochimaru. Tsunade narrowed his eyes and looked at Yifeng and said, go ahead. Sasori planted a spy next to Orochimaru. They originally planned to meet at the Heaven and Earth Bridge in Grassland in 3 days. The spy will tell Sasori of Orochimaru's whereabouts at that time, said Yekaz. Oh, Tsunade groaned slightly, picked up the hip flask on the desk. Sit on the sofa. Aren't you planning to investigate Orochimaru's whereabouts? Tsunade asked, looking at Yifeng thoughtfully. Yes. Yifeng also walked to the sofa and sat opposite Tsunade with a hip flask. This time, he was indeed going to clean up Orochimaru. You have to know that Orochimaru is very cautious. What if the identity of that spy has already been found out by Orochimaru? Tsunade frowned. Shaking the hip flask in his hand, he looked at the night breeze thoughtfully. Tsunade is very smart. Now Sasori is dead, but Yifeng did not let Tsunagakure disclose the news of Sasori's death. So, as long as they dress up like Sasori, perhaps Sasori's subordinates could inquire about Orochimaru's information. But with Tsunade's knowledge of Orochimaru, she thinks things may not be so simple. It doesn't matter if it is found out, if Orochimaru knows that Sasori is going to deal with him. He will definitely go to the Tiandichao to kill Sasori of the Red Sand in person, and we can also find Orochimaru at that time. Yifeng said. Do you just want to kill Orochimaru? There shouldn't be any deep hatred between you and him. Tsunade frowned. Have to say, Yifeng's inference makes sense, but are they really going to attack Orochimaru? With Orochimaru's weird abilities, Konoha was afraid that not only would he not be able to kill him, but instead would cause a commotion. This is why Orochimaru obviously killed 3rd Hokage, but Konoha village has not tried its best to hunt him down. I didn't do it for Orochimaru, I did it to take Naruto and Sakura to meet Sasuke. Yekaz explained. Naruto and Sakura are both friends of Night Wind. After the two of them learned about Orochimaru, they repeatedly begged Yifeng for help. From their perspective, as long as they can find Orochimaru, they can find Sasuke. As long as Sasuke can be found, they might be able to bring Sasuke back. You know the characters of Naruto and little Sakura. They usually don't ask for help easily. But since they have spoken, as their friend, I can't help but help them. Yifeng said. They can't forget the kid from Uchiha. Tsunade shook his head helplessly. Yes, 3 years are coming, Orochimaru should be reincarnated in a new container, and you don't want Orochimaru to get Sasuke's power. Yekaz said. Well, you were right, you really can't let Orochimaru get Sasuke's body. Tsunade nodded. Judgment has been made in my heart. Although Orochimaru's undead reincarnation is very domineering. But the same body cannot be used indefinitely. Every 3 years or so, Orochimaru is about to replace with a brand new container. Sasuke's body has now grown to the most suitable age for rebirth. If Orochimaru really took Sasuke's body, Sharingan with Sasuke, so Orochimaru might really become a more dangerous existence than Uchiha Itachi. So Tsunade must not allow this to happen. In that case, I will replace Kakashi and lead the 7th squad to perform this task. Yekaz shrugged. This is the result of Yifeng's discussion with Kakashi and others on the road. Kakashi used Kamui excessively this time. The body was hollowed out again. It is estimated that there will be no recovery in a month. So, Yifeng feels that he is more suitable than Yamato to lead this team on this task. Do you want to take Naruto with you? Tsunade frowned, and said, Akatsuki's goal is to catch the tail beast. Is the risk of you taking Naruto out of the village a bit high? Before Tsunade sent Naruto to Sand Shinobi for support, it has already caused dissatisfaction with the Elders faction. Now, they know that the purpose of the organization is to catch the tail beast, but they let Naruto perform such a dangerous mission. Those old guys are probably going to jump out and make trouble again. Is it big? It seems a bit big. Yifeng stared at Tsunade thoughtfully and nodded. But with me, it's not a big problem. When Tsunade looked at Yifeng's expression, he knew where he was looking. But, is it my fault when I grow up? Is it interesting that you always adjust your breath? Don't hesitate. You know what Naruto's temper is. You can't tie him in the village. Yifeng shook his head. Perhaps because of the connection between Indra and Ashura Chakra. The bond between Naruto and Sasuke is very deep. It was even deeper than the bond between Naruto and Night Wind. Now that Naruto knew he might find Sasuke's whereabouts, he would never stay in the village obediently. Do not forget, People dare to paint on Hokage rock at the age of 6. So, instead of letting Naruto sneak out, it's really better to let Night Wind take him out. Yeah, I'm actually willing to treat Naruto as a normal ninja. Tsunade touched his chin, bowed his body, and said with his head lowered. Have to admit, Ye Feng's strength is very strong. And, just like Ye Feng just said, it is impossible for Konoha village to keep Naruto in the village forever. Even if Akatsuki's purpose is for the tail beast. Tsunade is also more willing to treat Naruto as a normal ninja. No way. After all, she was the one who was escaped by Naruto's mouth. I can ask you to lead the team to carry out the task of capturing Sasuke, but this matter is very important, and I still need to discuss it with the senior management of the village. Tsunade considered it carefully. The targets of this mission are Orochimaru and Sasuke. Both of them are sensitive figures in Konoha village. So, Tsunade cannot be completely arbitrary. Still have to go through the process. Okay, then I'll wait for your news. Ye Feng shrugged and turned to leave. Konoha No. 1 Villagers Hospital. Special ward. Ye Feng walked into the ward. Found that Jiraiya and Naruto are also here. Hi, Ye Feng, it's been a long time. Jiraiya greeted Ye Feng with a smile. Didn't you say that you went to Unokuni to collect materials? Why did you come back so soon? Ye Feng asked. Hey, this is not because I heard that Sunagaku's Fengiying had an accident, so come back and see what happened. Jiraiya smiled. By the way, when will your new book come out? I can't wait. I'm impatient. These years. From time to time, Jiraiya would pester the Night Wind to write novels for him. Although Ye Feng is very resistant to writing these cheating stuff. But, under Jiraiya's stalker, Ye Feng could only write him a little casually. But the number of words is too few. Obviously there is no way to feed a diehard fan like Jiraiya. But Ye Feng can't help it, he is a ninja after all, writing is just a side job in his spare time. Can't be eaten. Ye Feng-kun can also write books. I don't know what style of work it is. Although Kakashi's body is a bit weak. But he still participated in the discussion between Jiraiya and Ye Feng enthusiastically. After all, he is an old book fan. Haha, tell you Kakashi, Ye Feng is good at the same field as me, and the book he writes is 100 times stronger than me. After Jiraiya finished speaking, he winked at Kakashi. It was a wink that a man knew. Yekas-kun, can you let me read your masterpiece? Kakashi suddenly sat up from the hospital bed. Novels of that style have always been Kakashi's favorite. Kakashi thought Jiraiya was the top of that field. But now, Jiraiya actually said that the Night Wind is stronger than him. And such works, he has never seen it. What kind of fog grass is such a life? Kakashi, look at your small body, can you count yourself? Thinking about those messy things all day, it's better to find a wife quickly. Quote. The Night Wind turned white. Kakashi glanced. A man knows what he will do after reading that kind of book, especially a single dog. Consider the speed of Kakashi Yuien's hand. GT. Ye Feng felt that he still had to persuade Kakashi. Aren't you still discussing novels just now? Why did you suddenly get involved with Mrs. Kakashi's wife again? Naruto said he was stunned. I don't understand Ye Feng's world at all. But it's strange to say, why didn't Mrs. Kakashi find a wife? Is it because after removing the mask, it is the sausage mouth or the big buck teeth? Quote. Naruto stroked his chin, showing a solemn appearance. If not for this reason, he really couldn't figure out why Mrs. Kakashi always covered his face. I haven't had a girlfriend yet. Naruto, or else you'd better go out first, so you don't want to mix in the conversation between adults. Kakashi stared at the salted fish eyes to express his dislike for Naruto. Well, Naruto was about to walk out, but suddenly he thought of something. But, the Night Wind is as big as me. Go out. Kakashi opened the forehead protector, revealing evil red eyes, and successfully scared Naruto away. After Naruto left, there was a brief silence in the room. Then, Jiraiya broke the silence. Ye Feng, I heard that you killed Deidara and Sasori of the Red Sand. Isn't your kid's strength too good? Jiraiya put away the giggling look. He has been investigating Shao organization's intelligence all these years. According to Jiraiya's understanding, the ninjas who can join Akatsuki are extremely evil. Even Orochimaru seems to have joined that organization. And now, Yi Feng killed 2 of them all at once. This kid is growing too fast. Well, I was also shocked at the time, but this is Ye Feng-kun. He has a good background and strong ability, and his novels are so good. Kakashi stared at the salted fish eyes and praised Yi Feng. In order to be able to see the masterpiece of the night wind, Kakashi felt that he was licking a dog even as an incarnation. Also, do not hesitate. By the way, has the 5th generation made a decision about Orochimaru? Kakashi asked. Orochimaru. Jiraiya frowned and said, what are you talking about? The relationship between Jiraiya and Orochimaru is very similar to Naruto and Sasuke. So, when Jiraiya heard the 3 words Orochimaru, he suddenly became serious. Then, Ye Feng explained the mission of Tiandichao to Jiraiya. Since it's related to Orochimaru, why don't you let me go with you? After all, your 7th class is missing someone. Jiraiya touched his chin and said. Heard this, Yekas and Kakashi raised their brows at the same time. The 7th class is going to be heaven-defying. I don't think it is necessary. If I take you there, there may be more variables. Yi Feng shook his head. Their mission this time is not to deal with Orochimaru, but to help Naruto and Sakura find Sasuke, regain the dream. So, if the night wind takes Jiraiya away, maybe Orochimaru will be alert in advance and just slip away. Well, I didn't expect me to be rejected. Jiraiya waved his hand helplessly. But there is one thing you must pay attention to. The power in Naruto's body is very terrifying. Don't let him be too severely stimulated. Jiraiya said solemnly. Subsequently, he also showed Yi Feng and Kakashi the scars Naruto left on Four Tails after awakening Four Tails. Well, once Jinchuriki breaks out, it's easy to lose your mind. It's really dangerous. Kakashi also nodded. Kakashi had always brought Naruto with him on missions before. But to be honest, he was also worried that Naruto would burst out suddenly. After all, with his small body, unless he kills, he really can't suppress the power of 9 Tails. Hey, have you forgotten that I once defeated 8 Tails Jinchuriki? 4 Tails Naruto, what am I afraid of? Yi Feng said disapprovingly. Forehead. Jiraiya and Kakashi choked suddenly. It seems to be. This kid's combat power is terrifying. He can snatch a beautiful disciple from 8 Tails perfect Jinchuriki. Well, if there is nothing else, I will go home first. After all, I am tired from performing tasks. I should relax too. Yi Feng waved his hand with his back to them, leaving the ward. Hey, sometimes I really envy this fellow Yi Feng. Kakashi sighed enviously. Yes, there is not only a beautiful girlfriend who can get married at the age of 18, but also an enchanting young servant. Jiraiya shook her head enviously, and said, well, I also left beforehand. After all, I haven't been to Short Book Street in a long time. It's time to take care of the business of my good friends over there. Ah, go ahead, I understand. Ye Feng's house. Sam is as usual. Clean the house on time every day. Prepare enough food for 3 to 4 people every day. Waiting patiently for Yi Feng to return home. Although such days seem a bit boring. But Sam was satisfied. After all, the life of Neodome is like this, which is much more interesting than being a ninja. Finally, the door creaked open. Yi Feng went home. You are back. Are you eating at home today? Sam greeted him docilely. Her hunch today is indeed true, so she is wearing Yi Feng's favorite dress today. Eat. Don't worry. Eat something else first. Outside the courtyard, groups of magpies called out one after another. They all seemed to experience some kind of joy that comes from the depths of their souls. The indescribable kind. Sam, I won't eat at home tonight. I'm going back home. You can eat by yourself. After the event, Yi Feng straightened his clothes. Touched Sam's little head. Well, yes, then I will help you prepare a souvenir. Sam dressed up nicely, prepared gifts for the night wind to bring home. Thanks. Yi Feng smiled. You're welcome, you'll be back soon. Sam also smiled, although she hopes to have dinner with the host. But the master is the master. He can do whatever he wants. Eat whatever you want. Eat whatever you want. The only thing an servant has to do is to be obedient. Yamanaka's house. When my father and mother saw that Yi Feng had returned, the 2 of them were very happy and prepared a large table of delicious food. I envy my brother. I can live alone, do whatever I want, and play whatever I want. It's great to be free. Ino looked at Yifeng with envy. 15 or 6 years old is the peak of the rebellious period of ninja children. Don't even look at them as underage. But I was imagining that I could take the lead alone. Girls have to look like girls. If you want to move out, you can wait until you get married at the age of 18. Yifeng habitually touched the top of Ino's head. Ridiculed. Why are girls different from boys? It's not fair at all. Ino grumbled his hands. Why can my brother move out to live, but she can't? Because girls are different from boys, isn't this obvious? Yifeng smiled. Speaking of, that guy Sai should be on the stage soon. If it develops according to the plot of the blogger's turn, Sai will become the son-in-law of the Yamanaka family. But Yifeng always feels that if I hand Ino to Sai, Yifeng seems to be a little bit at a loss. After all, with Ino's appearance and figure, you can find a better one. By the way, Yifeng, today 5th generation asked everyone to discuss about Uchiha Sasuke. Yamanaka looked at Yifeng and asked, I heard that you will lead the 7th class this time and go to Tiandichao to investigate. Where is Orochimaru? 5th generation's current efficiency is really fast enough, the meeting is over so soon. Yifeng smiled without denying it. To be honest, the appearance of the Night Wind has brought a lot of influence to Konoha village. Like the current Tsunade, with the support of various families behind her, it is very easy to do anything. It won't be the same as in the original plot, and it will be fettered by those old guys everywhere. That fellow Orochimaru is not easy to deal with, are you sure this time? Although Yamanaka Keiichi knew that his son was very strong, but still faintly worried. Don't worry, father, I know how to deal with people like him. Yifeng smiled. Orochimaru's second half of his life focused on the exploration of life sciences. So, Orochimaru is not actually a belligerent person. The key Orochimaru can't beat the wind. That's it, you can be sure. Yamanaka Hai nodded a little, and then changed the conversation. By the way, you and Hinata are both old, can you get engaged? Yamanaka Hai's topic turned too fast, which caught Yifeng a bit off guard. Haha, are you getting engaged? Little Hinata will pass out excitedly when he hears this news. Ino laughed. Yeah, you and Hinata have known each other for so many years, and it's time to give someone a name. Mother followed and laughed. Obviously everyone is satisfied with Hinata. Ah, be engaged, wait till autumn, this autumn should be a very suitable season for engagement. Yekaz has lived in the Hokage ninja world for 17 years. This year, it is the most exciting year in this world. When everyone thought Orochimaru was very dark, Nagato appeared. When everyone thought Nagato was the boss of the ninja world, Uchiha Madara appeared. When everyone thought that Uchiha Madara would solve all the troubles, everyone discovered that this Uchiha Madara turned out to be Uchiha Obito. And really Uchiha Madara hit Obito with a backhand. And then, Black Zetsu and Otsutsuki Kagaya appeared. They directly refreshed the ninja's 3 views of the world. It can be said, this year is destined to be an extraordinary year with endless surprises. The next day, early in the morning, Yifeng brought Naruto and Sakura to Hokage's office. Really, Sai was forcibly inserted into the 7th class by Danzo. His name is Sai, he used to belong to the Roots. Now he will replace Sasuke as a member of Class 7. Tsunade said slowly. Although Tsunade is reluctant to use the root ninja. But, Danzo's reasons are very good. He believes that if Naruto is to perform tasks like a normal ninja, his class must also be like a normal class, with 4 talents. For Danzo's explanation, Tsunade felt that she really couldn't refute it. And a ninja who can join such a class. It is also impossible to be a ninja of ordinary strength. So I can only choose from the Roots and Anbu. But for now, only Sai is about the same age as Naruto and the others. So, Tsunade finally accepted Danzo's suggestion. But Naruto and the others are obviously not able to accept this arrangement. Why, mother-in-law Tsunade, why did he replace Sasuke? How could he replace Sasuke? Naruto put his hands in Kabuto. He looked at Sai with enthusiasm. Although the 3-legged frog is hard to find, the 2-legged frog has a lot of fresh meat. But not everyone can replace the second column. Yes, master, this guy has always had a weird smile on his face, and it feels like it's full of false feelings. Is it really okay for us to team up together? Little Sakura also said with some worry. Ah, are you talking about smiling faces? Sorry, because I read the book about human relations that if you want to make friends with others, you have to put a smile on your face first. I am still practicing. After all, I really can't make emoticons smoothly. Sai smiled and explained, but his explanation obviously made Naruto and Sakura disgust him even more. Hey, it's really a team full of problems. Yi Feng helplessly patted his forehead, glanced at Sai, and slowly said, being full of letters is not as good as having no books. Everyone has different personalities. If you really want to get closer to your teammates, you don't have to put on such a boring smirk. Seeing that the three of them didn't seem to like his smile very much, then he put away his smirk. I think. Chapter 91. I don't want you to think. I want everyone to think. Yi Feng shrugged, very strongly interrupted Sai's explanation. If you really want to get closer to your teammates, then you can really show yourself. Although Sai is still standing on the dark side now. But it shouldn't take long for this guy to be stunned by Naruto's mouth. By then, he will become that straight steel man with a distinctive speech. Become a very interesting guy. But do you really want to marry Ino to him? Yi Feng always felt a little bit of resistance in his heart. I see, Captain Nightwind. Sai let out a long sigh of relief. He returned to his usual appearance. See Sai like this. Yi Feng nodded. Sai is actually a poor child. He was adopted by Danzo to join the Roots since he was a child. People with a background like Sai have a lot of tolerance. Danzo, in order to cultivate them into assassins without feelings, he followed Kurigakure and let the members who were friends in Nin Shinobu kill each other. This is how the bond between Sai and Shin came about. Shin is not Sai's real brother, but just like his own brother. In the final killing, Shin chose to commit suicide in order to keep Sai alive. So, don't look at the current Sai like a blank paper with no emotions. Actually, his feelings were only suppressed because of the letter. This is why he finally became friends with Naruto. Because he is not truly feelingless. But this does not prevent Yi Feng from not wanting Ino to marry Sai. Okay, you can handle the Sai affairs by yourself. Tsunade glanced at Yi Feng and said, Yi Feng, you stay for a while, the others will go to the gate and wait first. Good master. Little Sakura left Hokage's office with Naruto and Sai. Only Tsunade, Shizune and Yefeng are left in the room. Leaving me deliberately, are you planning to give me some benefits? Yi Feng raised the corner of his mouth and looked at Tsunade indifferently with a smile. Don't talk nonsense. Talk to business. Tsunade tightened the collar subconsciously, but her welfare became more apparent. After all, Sai is Danzo's subordinate. I always feel that Danzo sent him to the 7th class for more than just monitoring Naruto. Tsunade looked at Yi Feng with solemn eyes and said, I'm worried that he will be disadvantageous to the village. It's normal. If Danzo doesn't do things, he's not Konoha. Yi Feng shrugged and said disapprovingly, but although Danzo is gloomy, his love for the village is okay. So he will not be disadvantageous to the village, at best it will be disadvantageous to your Hokage. Although Shimura Danzo has countless gangsters in his life. But he is indeed Isshin for the better development and progress of the village. It's just that Danzo's vision is too shallow. That's why I went the wrong way. Well, Yefeng-kun, Lord Tsunade is Hokage of Konoha village. Danzo is not good to Master Tsunade. Isn't that bad to the village? You must stand firm. Shizune's eyes twitched. I feel that Yefeng's argument is very problematic. Yi Feng smiled slightly and said, actually, I think Danzo sent Sai with us, mostly to kill Sasuke. Kill Sasuke? Tsunade was stunned for a moment, and then said, if it's just to kill Uchiha Sasuke, Danzo shouldn't need to spend so much time, right? It is not easy to arrange Sai in the 7th class. Take Danzo's character. If he just wanted to kill Uchiha Sasuke, can you secretly send Gen Shino to execute it soon? It doesn't need to be so complicated. The reason is actually very simple. Yi Feng walked to the window. He glanced in the direction of the Uchiha family's former residence. If Orochimaru wants to seize Sasuke's body, Uchiha Itachi will not stand idly by, and Danzo must not want Orochimaru to be killed by Uchiha Itachi. Although Orochimaru is a dangerous guy, but he is also a useful guy for Danzo. So, Shimura Danzo does not want Orochimaru to have an accident at this time. Of course, he also didn't want Orochimaru to continue to grow stronger. So, maintaining the status quo is the best situation for Danzo. So he wanted to find a way to kill Sasuke. But what does this have to do with Sai? Tsunade frowned. She said that you had been talking for a long time, but the old lady didn't understand it. Of course it matters. Yi Feng opened the jug and took a sip. Shimura Danzo is an old fox. He wants to kill Uchiha Sasuke, but he doesn't want to take it on his own. That's why he pushed Sai out and killed Sasuke with the hand of the 7th class. Of course Ye Feng knew that Sai's mission was to kill Sasuke. But, Shimura Danzo obviously underestimated the second pillar. Thinking of dancing even with Sai. Have to say, sometimes Danzo is really naive and a little cute. For example, Kulu Thorn must be Zuzuo. Another example is Izanagi hiding the shuriken. Danzo wants to save Orochimaru. He must prevent Orochimaru from occupying Sasuke's body, but Orochimaru will obviously not follow Danzo's advice. So killing Sasuke is the best option Danzo can think of. But Danzo also knows the horror of Uchiha Itachi. If he sends Gen Shino to assassinate Sasuke, Uchiha Itachi will definitely not let him go easily. But if Sasuke died in the hands of Konoha's 7th class, the nature would be different. The bond between Class 7 and Sasuke is too deep. Sasuke can only blame good luck when he is dead. Uchiha Itachi will not point the finger at Danzo. Maybe, Uchiha Itachi will also assassinate you 5th Hokage. So, understand now. Yi Feng was drinking a small wine while speaking out his guess. Although this is a brain supplement. But if these words were learned by Danzo, he will definitely be more afraid of Yi Feng. Because this is what he thinks in his heart. After Tsunade and Shizune listened to Yi Feng's explanation, the two looked at each other. His face was full of surprise. Ye Feng-kun, just a sigh, are there so many conspiracies hidden behind it? Shizune swallowed. A drop of cold sweat dripped from his forehead. To be honest, Hokage Ninja is always a juvenile passionate fan. Except for a few old yin forced. Most people's minds are quite simple. So Shizune said she didn't quite understand these things. And, Ye Feng, when did Kun become so black? Very scary. Ha, kid, it's as if my dignified Senju Tsunade would be afraid of him Uchiha Itachi. Let him come, see if I hit him or not. Tsunade narrowed his eyes. A suffocation suddenly appeared on his face. To be honest, in Tsunade's eyes, the ultimate kill of the Uchiha clan is nothing more than illusion plus Susanoo. But, Tsunade asks herself that she has super chakra control ability and never puts ninjas in her eyes. As for Susanoo, just one punch. Don't stare at me. I just told Shimura Danzo's possible plan, and I didn't say you would be afraid of Uchiha Itachi. Yi Feng glanced at Tsunade silently. Good. You are awesome. You can fight Uchiha Itachi for 300 rounds. Do not breathe or cry. Okay, that's natural. The old lady is Hokage of Konoha village, a descendant of the Senju clan. How can I be afraid of the Uchiha? Tsunade picked up the corner of his mouth, and looked a little Tsunere. Yes, you Senju are great. By the way, in fact, you are not too young anymore, so you don't even think about how to carry forward the Senju clan. If there is a real need, I might be able to help. Yi Feng looked at Tsunade's welfare. There was a thoughtful look on his face. Tsunade clearly has the pure blood of the Senju clan. And she knows Baihao technique. Super stamina. As long as she is willing to let herself go. It is definitely a matter of minutes for the Senju clan to rise. If no one is willing to help, Yi Feng didn't mind playing the role of Lei Feng. Boom, Yi Feng's voice fell. Tsunade smashed the coffee table in front of him with a punch. If it weren't for Shizune, she stopped by. She might have rushed to hit the night wind. You fool, what did you mean by just now? You dare to say that the old lady is old? Tsunade angered. When my old lady used to mix outside, everyone called my little sister. Why did you get here, brat? I became an old woman. Master Tsunade, calm down. Ye Feng-kun doesn't actually mean that, he actually wants to say. Shizune explained this time. She suddenly felt that she could no longer speak. Ye Feng-kun said so blatantly. Shizune is so embarrassed to repeat it again. But, Tsunade-sama is also really strange. Obviously the next thing is more excessive, right? But all she cares about is her age. What does he want to say? I don't care what he wants to say. I always despise my old lady's old age, I don't have to bear him a day or two. Tsunade said, more and more angry. Finally, she broke away from Shizune's embrace. A stride rushed in front of the night wind. Boom, a punch hits the door of Yefeng. Boom, the night wind that was hit turned into a cloud of white smoke and disappeared. At this time, the air in the office suddenly cooled down. Then, there was a loud roar. Asshole brat, even a shadow clone came to pick up the mission. Your special code is too much. At this time, Yifeng was holding Hinata at home and telling her some interesting stories. After Shadow Clone was hammered, Yifeng's brows couldn't help but frown. The memories and feelings of Shadow Clone have all returned to the original body. Is there so many interesting things happening in the Hokage building? It seems that it's time for me to leave, or the old woman might actually call me in a while. Yifeng bowed his head and mumbled. Then he kissed Hinata on the forehead. Hinata, I'm leaving first, and I will tell you the stories of those pirates after I come back. Yifeng laughed. Be careful, and be sure to come back as soon as possible. You still owe me the finale of the basketball story. Hinata's small face was slightly red, with a feeling of unfulfilled meaning. For Hinata, what is a perfect life? As long as you can lie in the arms of the person you like. Listen to him tell some interesting stories. That's enough. Of course, for the night wind, this posture may be correct. But what he most wants to do is definitely not tell a story. Hokage office. Tsunade has gradually suppressed the anger that had just been ignited by the night wind. Shizune cleaned up the mess in the room with an innocent look. These two people are really enough. One dared to speak, the other dared to fight. If this is a couple, I guess the home is gone long ago. Master Tsunade, since there may be a conspiracy hidden behind this mission, don't you think we should rush another team to join Yefeng and the others? Shizune asked. What? Isn't that little fool very arrogant? Let him experience the beating of Danzo and Orochimaru. Tsunade snorted, looking far away at the direction of the entrance of Konoha village. But, maybe it was Orochimaru and Danzo who were beaten up in the end. Konoha Gate. As the captain of this time, Yifeng, after completing the procedures for leaving the village, led the 7th class to leave Konoha village. Well, I have never performed a task with my little partner, I am a little looking forward to it. Yifeng said with a smile. Once upon a time, Yifeng had also imagined that he would join a normal team. There is a humorous guide Jonin. It's better to be a beautiful woman. Then, he will probably have 2 interesting teammates. The best one is his licking dog. The other is his little fan. This kind of life is also very interesting. However, the reality is cruel. He turned out to be an elite of Konoha village at a young age. Also took over the job of Kakashi. Such a life is really dull. On the way, the friends use the ninja's unique way to hurry. But Yefeng is slightly different from them. The night wind is running with swinging arms. A ninja running like this. It is estimated that there are only 2 people in the entire ninja world, Yifeng and Orochimaru. Yefeng, thank you for helping us win this mission, otherwise I really don't know when we can see Sasuke again. Naruto smiled. He was really grateful to Yifeng. After all, the bond between him and Sasuke was kicked out by Yifeng. Yes, I heard from Master. The elders originally intended to let other teams perform this mission, but when they learned that the night wind would lead us this time, the old guys were willing to give in. Little Sakura said. What are you polite? Everyone is a friend, and it is right to help you. Yifeng smiled. Yefeng and Naruto have been friends for 10 years. This feeling is deep, so, although this trip to Tiandichao did not sign in. But Yifeng still very readily agreed to help them. For friendship. It's a pity that the guy Sai was allowed to get involved, and it always feels weird. Naruto glanced at Sai. Obviously he didn't particularly like this guy. Sai, exist. Shimura Danzo should have arranged other tasks for you, Yifeng asked. Captain Yefeng, I don't quite understand what you mean. Sai looked at the night wind. Although his expression is very single. But the corner of his eyes still couldn't help but beat a few times. This guy actually saw through Master Danzo's arrangement. It's terrible, Sai thought in his heart. I don't care if you understand it or not, but you'd better remember one thing. If you dare to sabotage this mission, I might kill you. Ye Feng's tone was indifferent. At the same time I was thinking, don't blame your brother for being cruel at that time. In any case, I've been courteous first and then soldiers. If I really killed your future husband, then he can only blame himself for being too tricky. Night. The Ye Feng team found an open place and set up the tent. Ye Feng personally made a meal for them. The friends feasted. By the way, there are many. You and Jiraiya have practiced for so long, how are the balls technique developed? Ye Feng asked, chewing on the drumsticks. Development. My meatballs are now getting bigger and bigger, more and faster, and faster. Does this count as development? Naruto gnawed at the chicken back and asked inexplicably. That is to say, you have been with Jiraiya for 3 years. Besides teaching you how to control Nine Tails chakra, he only taught you how to make the balls big and round. Ye Feng shook his head irritably. Jiraiya is good at everything. Just too lazy. Are the balls big and round useful? Neither. Apart from teaching me how to make the balls big and round, the good cesium fairy is still discussing the usage of the harem technique with me. He said that this trick might save the ninja world in the future. Naruto solemnly said the matter. That old scumbag, wouldn't you already say here? Ye Feng felt that he could no longer speak. Although the use of Naruto's transformation technique is very extensive. But, isn't Jiraiya going crazy for that? Hey. Poor Nalu is so much. Forget it. In fact, Rasengan can also join some chakra nature transformation. Do you want to learn? Ye Feng asked. Rasengan can increase nature transformation. What does that mean? Naruto was puzzled. Obviously no one has popularized him the knowledge of chakra nature transformation. Chakra is divided into morphological change and nature transformation. Take Reikiri of Kakashi. The lightning style is nature transformation. The shark shape of Reikiri is the shape change. And your Rasengan itself is a morphological change, lacking nature transformation. So you can't beat Sasuke. Do you understand? Quote, Ye Feng patiently explained the basic principles of chakra to Naruto. To be honest, Naruto is now just relying on a large amount of chakra to rub the balls hard. Although the power is not weak. But it's far from the spiral shuriken after incorporating wind style. Then don't you mean that Rasengan's power can be improved? Although Naruto didn't quite understand the knowledge points of Ye Feng. But he understood one thing. That is, his signature moves can be upgraded. And, after the upgrade, he might be able to beat Sasuke. Of course, I will teach you. The voice of the night wind fell. I saw his palm flipped over. 5 light blue mini Rasengan appeared at Ye Feng's fingertips. My god, Rasengan can still be used like this. Naruto looked at the 5 small blue balls in Ye Feng's hand with a dumb face. Hey, no wonder Ye Feng is already the elite Jonin so quickly, and we are just Chunin and Genin. Little Sakura sighed. She began to envy Hinata more and more. Envious of her having such an excellent boyfriend as Ye Feng. But she glanced down in front of her. Then silently shook his head. Can't be compared. Can't be compared. Naruto, I'm going to start Rasengan's nature transformation, you can look carefully. The voice of the night wind fell. I saw it. The 5 mini Rasengans were injected with chakra variations of different attributes by the night breeze. Mini wind style spiral shuriken. Mini fire style spiral shuriken. Mini lightning style spiral shuriken. Mini water style spiral shuriken. Mini earth style spiral shuriken. The 5 miniature shurikens look like spirits at Ye Feng's fingertips. Exudes different power. Oh my god, that's alright. Can I do something like this in the future? Naruto was dumbfounded. It feels like opening a whole new world. If I remember correctly, you should only have the chakra attribute of wind style, so your future development direction is wind style spiral shuriken. Ye Feng said slowly. What? Can I only learn one of them? Naruto felt a little disappointed when he heard Ye Feng's answer. But Ye Feng glanced at Naruto speechlessly. What happened to only wind style? After you have collected the rent from 9 Tails, you can use this trick to break through the 4th Ninja World War. It's good to learn one. Chakra's nature transformation is difficult. Not everyone can be like me. Ye Feng shook his head. Yeah, Naruto, don't float. It's great to develop a kind of escape technique. Until now, I only know how to escape from Yang. I can't do any of the 5 elements escape technique. Little Sakura also shook his head. Medical ninjutsu belongs to the category of Yongdun. Little Sakura has been struggling just to develop Yongdun over the years. There is simply no way to develop others. And she is like this. Naruto's talents developed by Dunshu are probably worse. Okay, Yefeng, you can teach me quickly, come on. Naruto's frustration came quickly, and so did the passion. Urzu only has 2 escape techniques. I have one that is not too bad. Okay, I will teach you on the way. Yi Feng smiled. No way. After all, the Night Wind does not know wood style. Can't suppress the 9 tails chakra in Naruto's body. So, he needs to find something to attract Naruto's attention. Lest he see Orochimaru and can't help but run away. 2 days later, the 4 of Yefeng arrived in the country of grass. Yefeng, don't we really need to get closer to Tiandi Bridge? Naruto asked with a worried look. At this moment, little Sakura is hidden in the crimson that Kankuro has restored, waiting for the appearance of Sasori's men at the Tiandichou. To be honest, Naruto is very worried about the safety of little Sakura. In this world, because of the reason, little Sakura's feeling for Sasuke is only at the stage of teammates. So, the bond between Naruto and Sakura is deeper. Don't worry, if I get too close, Orochimaru will be easy to find. Yi Feng said dismissively. As for the little Sakura, you can rest assured, I will save her in time. Before the departure of little Sakura, the Night Wind gave her a flying thunder god kunai. Just confirm that after Yakushi Kabuto and Orochimaru arrived, the Night Wind can instantly cut into the battlefield. Little Sakura is not in any danger at all. And, little Sakura itself is also very strong. Guai Liquan, 100 healings mark, Bai Hao technique. Although it is not as good as the Hang ratio, but it is also the Shaoqiang of Konoha village. Naruto then fell silent, watching little Sakura nervously. After all, little Sakura will become his wife in the future. Half an hour passed. 2 familiar chakras finally appeared in the eyes of Byakugan in Yefeng. Big Fish has taken the bait, everyone is acting according to plan. Yi Feng ordered. Subsequently, Sai launched the Super Beast pseudo-painting and summoned a big ink bird. Naruto and Sai jumped up together. Yi Feng directly activated Flying Thunder God and appeared next to little Sakura. Huh, Yefeng, why are you here now? I haven't got any information yet. Little Sakura said puzzledly. No need, because Yakushi Kabuto won't be your routine. Yi Feng smiled faintly, and looked at Yakushi Kabuto who was hiding his face in the cloak with disdain and said, It's been a long time, Kabuto-senpai. Why, how could it be you guys? Yakushi Kabuto looked at the Yamanaka night breeze that suddenly appeared, untied the cloak covering the face. All kinds of complex emotions were written on his face. There is fear, there is hatred, there is also a little excitement. Kabuto-senpai, it seems that your arms and ears have been restored by Orochimaru. But it is a pity that you met me this time, maybe you will be scrapped again. Yi Feng shrugged. A cruel smile appeared. Ha, Yamanaka Night Wind. Orochimaru-sama and I were planning to take Sasori's life today, but I didn't expect to wait for you. Fair enough. Master Orochimaru's arm has recovered 80%, we must kill you today. Quote. Yakushi Kabuto's face returned to calm. Pushed the frame. A white light was refracted on the lens. Kabuto thinks they shouldn't be a big problem. Oh, no wonder it's so calm, because Orochimaru's arm recovered. Yi Feng smiled dismissively, and then a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. But when did you come into being? As long as Orochimaru's power is restored, you can overcome my illusion. Orochimaru after using living corpse reincarnation. He left the soul of the arm part of the container, and merge his soul with the arm soul of the container. After 3 years of trial and error, Orochimaru's 2 arms have almost recovered now. Otherwise, they would not want to take this opportunity to kill Sasori of the Red Sand. But, although Orochimaru is difficult to kill, but Yefeng didn't pay attention to Orochimaru at all. Orochimaru, don't you plan to come out yet? Do you think there is any point in hiding it? The smell of the stinky snake on your body, I have already smelled it from a long distance. Quote. Yi Feng smiled faintly, glancing at the bushes in the distance. Ha ha ha, Yefeng-kun, I haven't seen you in a few years, I find you really become more and more interesting. Orochimaru's hoarse voice fell. He appeared next to Yakushi Kabuto with a fishy wind. Originally, I wanted to play a scene with Kabuto to routine Sasori, but I didn't expect it to be you. Orochimaru looked at the night breeze fiery in a pair of snake eyes, sticking out his tongue and licking the corner of his mouth. A grin appeared on his face. You can't wait to be my experimental material, so you came to me. Yi Feng looked at Orochimaru. Can't help but shook his head and laughed. Orochimaru, I found that you are really similar to Sasuke. You feel like you are doing it again at every turn, and then you get beaten up. Is this really good? Hehe, of course Sasuke-kun and I look alike. In the future, we will become a mate. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth with a grim expression, and his saliva almost came out. No way. Just think of Sasuke's small body. Orochimaru was terribly greedy. At this time, Sai has brought Naruto over. Sai still sat on the bird and didn't get down. Beautifully called. He is observing whether Orochimaru has any other help. But in fact, he was waiting for the opportunity to contact Orochimaru alone. But Yi Feng did not stop this. After all, the purpose of the Night Wind is to find Sasuke through Orochimaru. So, he has already left the mark of Flying Thunder God on Sai in advance. As long as Sai and Orochimaru return to the base of the country of grass, Sasuke can also be found in the night breeze. Orochimaru, what about Sasuke? Why didn't he come over? Naruto jumped off the bird's back and shouted angrily at Orochimaru. The enemy was extremely jealous when they met. If it weren't because of the night wind, Naruto might have started to explode now. Hehe, I didn't expect Nine-Tails Jinchuriki to come, even though I am not too interested in things like tail beasts. But since you took the initiative to bring it to the door, I don't mind taking it back together. Orochimaru sneered again and again. In his opinion, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki is also good. Yamanaka Night Wind, no matter how strong they are only slightly better than Yakushi Kabuto. And his Orochimaru now has his arms recovered. There are so many ninjutsu that can be used. I'm not afraid of them both in my eyes. But, Orochimaru's arrogant appearance obviously reminded Naruto to miss Sasuke again. Naruto thought, how could Urzu be so confused by a man like this? Then, Naruto yelled, rolled out a ball, and rushed towards Orochimaru. Jinchuriki, your opponent is me. Yakushi Kabuto stepped forward to block Naruto's attack. The corners of the mouth raised lightly. A grin appeared on his face. Naruto, last time I was hit by your Rasengan for underestimating the enemy, this time it is not so easy to hit me. In fact, Yakushi Kabuto's strength is still very strong. The reason why he was hit by Naruto last time was simply because he underestimated the enemy. As long as he gets serious, he thinks he can be like Kakashi like a man. However, Naruto didn't bother to talk to him at all. The Naruto shadow clone directly connected to Yakushi Kabuto, all holding balls. At the same time, little Sakura slammed a punch towards the ground was shaking, and Yakushi Kabuto suddenly felt a little unstable on the soles of his feet. Hokage tablet, strange power opens the sky. Thought it was just for fun. How could it be possible? When did they become so strong? Yakushi Kabuto looked confused, but finally avoided the combined blow of the two. And just when Naruto little Sakura was rocking with Yakushi Kabuto, Orochimaru and Yi Feng have also begun to hand in hand. The hidden shadow has more snake hands. Su su su. Dozens of giant pythons rushed towards the night wind with their fangs bare. The night wind black knife came out of its sheath. Turn the blade slightly in the air. The tongues of dozens of giant pythons were all cut off with a single stab. Orochimaru, it's better not to be embarrassed by the way children play like this. Yi Feng's voice fell. A jet black blade of light pierced towards Orochimaru. Haha, Yi Feng-kun, your knife skills seem to be sharper than before. But no one else here can cooperate with you. Do you think your sharpest knife can hit me? Quote. Orochimaru smiled faintly. Even though Yi Feng's sword attack was very strong, it still shook before the attack when it launched. Just be careful, then keep a certain fighting distance. Orochimaru thinks it shouldn't be a problem for him to avoid the attack of the night wind. Orochimaru, what you said is really interesting. If I really want to kill you, there are at least 100 ways. Yi Feng raised his left hand. Blow. A kunai lost towards Orochimaru. For such a superficial attack, Orochimaru turned sideways to avoid kunai, and was about to sneer. But this time, he suddenly found that this kunai seemed a bit wrong. Flying Thunder God. A thought flashed through Orochimaru's mind, but he had no time to dodge because the night wind had appeared behind him. Ha! The black knife flicked across. Orochimaru's body that was slashed by night wind with a knife instantly turned into lion majesty. Dodged the fatal blow of the night wind. Then, Orochimaru's several ups and downs opened the distance from the night wind. Hee, okay, I take back what I just said. You do have the ability to cut me down, but what's the use? My Orochimaru is an immortal existence. Orochimaru has ferocious eyes. A strange smile appeared on his face. Uchiha Itachi is very strong. Tiandao Pain is also very strong. But what's the use? 100 years have passed with a flick of your finger. At that time only I, Orochimaru, can still stand in the clouds of the ninja world. I have to admit that your vitality is really tenacious. But there is a pretender who once said, the vitality that is not commensurate with the strength is also a waste, Mr. Snake. Ye Feng smiled faintly and pointed Orochimaru in the direction of Haruka. Hee, it seems that my Orochimaru is still underestimated. Then let you see how good my Orochimaru is. Ninfa the array of 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru's voice fell. I saw it. Countless lion majesty came out of Orochimaru's mouth. The scene is extremely strange. Next, lion majesty spat out a blade. The sky is rolling towards the night wind. The momentum is terrifying. See this scene. Yi Feng took the ghost away calmly and took out a scroll from his backpack. Go on, Iron Man. Yi Feng shook the scroll in his hand. 100 marks 50 rushed out in an instant. Then, all kinds of hot weapons are flying all over the sky. Soon, on the battlefield, the scent of the thick protein was burnt. It makes people salivate. This. You actually still Grandmaster puppet technique. How is this possible? Orochimaru's face showed a surprised look. Generally speaking, special types like sword ninja, puppet ninja, medical ninja. They can already have great stunts in their respective fields of the Grandmaster. How can there be energy to study other ninjutsu? But Yi Feng is not only outrageous in sword skills, but also Grandmaster puppet technique. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. There was a fiery look in his eyes. Ye Feng-kun, maybe. You are more suitable for my container than Sasuke-kun. Impure World Reincarnation Technique. Orochimaru bit the corner of his mouth. Summon third Cage's Impure World Reincarnation body. Obviously, his thinking is the same as that of Sasori of Akasha. Since the Night Wind puppet is made of steel, it will naturally be restrained by magnet style. It's third Cage again. How is your third Cage better than Sasori? Yi Feng smiled faintly, and controlled the Iron Man army to rush up. Boom boom boom. After a mess, Yi Feng came to a conclusion. Although the attack power is not as good as Sasori's third Cage puppet, the vitality is really tenacious. The strength of people from Impure World Reincarnation may not be as good as the state before his death. But, this infinite chakra and infinite health are really unreasonable. It's a pity that the first generation and second generation have been sealed off by the old man. Otherwise, I have these subordinates, I should be enough to laugh at the world of ninja. Orochimaru let out a sneer. But this time, Yi Feng suddenly appeared behind third Cage. Cut him into 2 pieces with one knife. Orochimaru, you still don't know much about me, but my knife can cut the soul. Third Cage's body was severed by the night wind. But this time, he did not recover on his own as before. The demon sword that can cut the soul, isn't it Zanpakuto? Yi Feng shook his head. Afterwards, the third Cage was stunned with a stab. Orochimaru, so you better not be cut by me, otherwise you may really die. This moment, Orochimaru's face finally showed a look of fear. He has devoted his entire life to how to free his soul from physical limitations. In Orochimaru's view, as long as the soul no longer depends on the body, then he is the immortal existence. But now, Yamanaka Night Wind was able to kill the soul. What is the significance of his lifelong research? Next, Yi Feng threw a terrifying lightning-style spiral shuriken at Orochimaru again. Orochimaru's summoning blocked the attack by going out of the triple Rasho gate. But, The horrible lightning style still swallows large forests. Wait until the smoke clears. The figures of Orochimaru and Yakushi Kabuto have disappeared. Only a shabby snake skin was left. This basilisk runs very fast. Yi Feng smiled faintly. Orochimaru is strong in this respect. He has too many means of escape, it is difficult to be really killed. But he ran away as soon as he ran. Because Orochimaru is not the target of Night Wind. Ye Feng just needs Orochimaru to help him lead the way. Ye Feng, let them run away, what can we do? A look of anxiety revealed in Naruto's eyes. Orochimaru was shocked back. Can they still find Sasuke? And I found that Sai is gone, I don't know what the hell he is doing. Little Sakura frowned. She felt that the process of this mission was too different from what she had imagined. Sai went to find Orochimaru on Danzo's secret mission, but I had already marked him in advance. You two will treat the wound first, and then I will take you to chase after it. Ye Feng said. Naruto did not break out this time. The cooperation between him and Sakura is enough to deal with Yakushi Kabuto. But Yakushi Kabuto is not vegetarian either. So, Naruto and Sakura also received some minor injuries. You don't need to deal with this little injury. Let's go after it now. Naruto can't wait to meet Sasuke. Don't worry, let Sai fly for a while, if we chase it now, won't we be exposed? Yi Feng smiled faintly. Naruto, we have to trust the judgment of the Night Wind, let me heal you first. Little Sakura said tenderly. Isn't it just a Sasuke? Is it more important than me? Good. Naruto hesitated, but finally nodded. Subsequently, little Sakura mobilized healing jutsu to help Naruto recover from the wound. Yi Feng saw the expressions of the two on the side. With emotion in my heart. Perhaps because of his appearance. Little Sakura is not as obsessed with Sasuke as in the original plot. So, after so many years, the relationship between Junior, Sakura and Naruto has heated up. This is why Naruto didn't choose to use the power of the tail beast just now. Because if he uses the power of 9 tails, he will lose his consciousness and can't experience the happiness of joining hands with little Sakura. After all, I robbed Naruto from a marriage. If it can contribute to a good relationship between him and Sakura, that would be pretty good. Yi Feng thought in his heart. After half an hour, both Sakura and Naruto's injuries have almost recovered. The stamina consumed was gradually recovered under the supply of the Liang pill. But Yi Feng suddenly felt that Sai hadn't moved for a long time. Could it be Orochimaru's base is so close to them? Ye Feng, let's go. Naruto stood up. He felt his whole body full of power again. After all, this one was treated by little Sakura himself. The effect is naturally leveraged. Okay, let's go. Yi Feng nodded. Launch the Flying Thunder God Array. Take Naruto and Sakura directly to Sai. But this is not a stronghold of Orochimaru. It's a wasteland. Ah, Sai, you wake up, what the hell happened? Naruto helped Sai, who had fainted on the ground, and little Sakura quickly started to treat him. Ye Feng, what should I do? It seems that he didn't take refuge in Orochimaru as you said. Little Sakura stared solemnly. They had planned to use Sai to chase Orochimaru. But judging from the current situation, they have obviously lost Orochimaru's whereabouts. I'll search for his brain with family secrets first. Yi Feng's hands were sealed, and his mental power sneaked into Sai's mind. About 10 minutes passed. Yi Feng frowned. Yi Feng's memory is not wrong. Sai did catch up with Orochimaru as in the original plot and made Danzo's request to continue cooperating with Orochimaru. But Orochimaru didn't even think about it, so he directly hammered Sai. Before leaving, Orochimaru also said, "Cooperate. You don't know how terrible Yamanaka Night Wind is. Danzo died, I, Orochimaru, don't want to die." This moment, the expression on Yi Feng's face is very complicated. Uncle Snake was scared by him. What if he escapes? The base of Orochimaru's grassland. Orochimaru took Yakushi Kabuto back to the base of the grassland in embarrassment. Once in the door, Urzuzi couldn't wait to see when Orochimaru could take him for today's training. But Orochimaru is obviously not in a good mood. Kabuto, pack the important information, we will leave here immediately. Orochimaru gave a cold command. Good. Yakushi Kabuto nodded. Leaving? Why are we leaving? Didn't we just come here soon? Sasuke frowned and asked indifferently. Perhaps because of Yamanaka Night Wind. We just played against him, and he may also be looking for us. Yakushi Kabuto explained. Yakushi Kabuto was having a good fight with Naruto and Sakura. Orochimaru suddenly took him and fled the scene. He didn't even know what happened between Orochimaru and Night Wind. But, can make Orochimaru so nervous. This indicates that Yamanaka Night Breeze is indeed very convenient. Yamanaka Night Wind. Heard the name. A frightening pupil power flowed in Uchiha Sasuke's eyes. A pair of black pupils instantly turned into red pupils. Orochimaru, you are really getting more and more timid, so what if Yamanaka Night Breeze comes? I wanted to kill him a long time ago. Urzuzi's eyes were cold. His face was furious. 3 years. He has been alone in Orochimaru's hands for 3 years. He is no longer the boy he used to be. Sasuke has long wanted to be shameful and avenge Yi Feng's kick after kick. Sasuke, don't float, Yamanaka has a strong night breeze. If you really want to deal with him, you have to wait for me to gather information about his battle. Orochimaru shook his head. The second pillar was really floating. At every turn, I feel like I'm doing it again. Then was hammered. Does this kind of life really make sense? Humph. Yamanaka Night Breeze is indeed very strong, but I am not weak, Uchiha Sasuke. I have a unique unicorn, I can kill Yamanaka Night Wind. Said Urzuzi confidently. Sasuke, I can understand your feelings, but not today. Today we evacuate first. Next time, I will personally accompany you to kill Yamanaka Night Wind. Orochimaru looked at the second pillar sharply. That's right. As long as Snake someone gets your body, I can accompany you to defeat Yamanaka Night Wind. Sasuke-kun, please take the overall situation first. This is the secret base of Orochimaru-sama after all. If the important data cannot be transferred before Konoha finds out, then Orochimaru-sama's experimentation will be in vain. Quote. Yakushi Kabuto pushed his glasses. But, if the second pillar can listen to people's advice, can he still be the second pillar? Boom. Sasuke's body was bathed in thunder. Like the god of thunder and war. A thunder swiftly disappeared in the sight of Orochimaru and Yakushi Kabuto. Waka, why is he still so impulsive? Orochimaru gritted his teeth. Master Orochimaru, what shall we do? If Sasuke's body is damaged by the night wind, there will be no way to become your container. Yakushi Kabuto pushed his glasses. After you pack the information, leave directly, and I will take Sasuke back. Orochimaru's pupils tightened. Although Orochimaru has a space secret technique that can lead people to escape. But, any ninjutsu consumes chakra. He had already used it not long ago. Now it's going to be the second round. Even if Orochimaru is a boy, I am afraid that his body will be hollowed out. In the forest, Yi Feng is taking Naruto little Sakura all the way. Now that he lost Orochimaru's whereabouts, Yi Feng can only rely on the sensory ability of the Yamanaka clan to search Orochimaru. But, Orochimaru has always been cautious. His stronghold in the country of grass is an underground stronghold. It is indeed not easy to find him. Unexpectedly, Danzo would let Sai and Orochimaru unite. It seems that the master's guess is right. Little Sakura looked solemn. But Sai failed. Can we still find Sasuke? Naruto's face was full of disappointment. Obviously it will succeed. Would it fall short? In this case, wouldn't the poor Urzu never escape from Orochimaru's clutches? Yi Feng ignored Naruto. He was still intently searching for the traces of the serpent. After all, Orochimaru did not leave them for a long time. And this direction should be correct. As long as they don't run away, you should be able to find it. But if you really can't find it, there is no way. That's all. The three searched for more than half an hour along the way, but they couldn't find the base of Orochimaru. Just when the three of Yi Feng almost wanted to give up. Suddenly, Yi Feng noticed that a cold and familiar chakra was quickly approaching in their direction. This, familiar taste, is it Sasuke? Yi Feng frowned and urged sensation ninjutsu to ultimate. Really, Sasuke is the one who surpasses them aggressively. 10 minutes later, the four met. Urzuzi stood on the treetops, dressed in a long robe, with a straight-bladed grass Naruto sword inserted obliquely behind his waist, dressed in a socially mixed dress, and it felt as if he were very tall. Unexpectedly, you are here too. That's great. In order to be able to gain stronger power, it's time for me to cut the bond between you and me. Sasuke looked at Naruto with cold eyes. 3 years. It took Sasuke 3 years but still couldn't break through this pair of 3 Tomo Sharingan. At the end of the valley, Sasuke can actually kill Naruto directly. But he didn't do that, because he didn't want to gain power in the way of Itachi's Itachi. But these 3 years of severe beating proved one thing. Itachi is hateful though, but the method he said is the only way Sharingan can evolve. He must kill Naruto. This way he can upgrade Sharingan. Have the same pupil power as Itachi. 2 pillars. What did you mean by what you just said? Do you really want to kill me, but you obviously didn't do it last time? Naruto looked at Uchiha Sasuke aloft in disbelief. He doesn't believe it. He didn't believe that Urzu had become such a cold boy. I didn't kill you last time because I was happy for a while. But this time, I can also take your life for a moment of happiness. Quote. Brush. Urzuzi suddenly came to Naruto's eyes. One hand puts an arm around Naruto's shoulder. The other hand had already pulled out the shinobi behind his back. The cold eyes seemed to say, look, this is the speed of my Uchiha Sasuke. Seeing that Sasuke's knife was about to hit Naruto, little Sakura suddenly slammed a punch to the ground. Countless rocks fell apart, sputtered towards Sasuke. Zzz. Faced with a surprise attack by the little Sakura, Sasuke didn't panic. The body is covered with the power of thunder of thousands of birds. In an instant, the hitting rocks were smashed. At the same time, Naruto and Sakura flew out together. The Chidori was taught to me by Kakashi, but Kakashi's aptitude is too bad. I improved the Chidori. Isn't this amazing trick of Chidori? Sasuke's mouth twitched. A touch of pride came out naturally. You must be handsome in appearance. This is the basic quality necessary to pretend to be a ninja. Naruto looked at Sasuke in front of him. The heart is very complicated. He thought that as long as he found Sasuke, he would surely bring Sasuke back to Konoha village. However, Naruto found that he was thinking too simple. As Yefeng said, Sasuke has changed. He is no longer the boy he once was. But Naruto felt that Sasuke could save it. He is going to beat Sasuke first, and then use his mouth to save Sasuke. After all, in the past few years, Naruto has successfully used this routine to escape a lot of lost teenagers. Then, Naruto entered the sealed space of 9 tails. 9 tails, give me strength, Naruto said seriously. 9 tails shook the big evil tail and looked at Naruto grimly. Very well, just come to me, my power can let you defeat the Uchiha kid easily. The voice of 9 tails fell. Bundles of foamy chakra burst out of its body. He rushed in the direction of Naruto. But at this moment, Sasuke unexpectedly appeared in Naruto's sealed space. He stared at 9 tails with big evil eyes, and said lightly. It turns out that you are the power in Naruto's body. It is really ugly. Sasuke already knew the truth about Jinchuriki. To be honest, he admired Naruto very much. If there is such a tail beast in his body, Sasuke felt that he had already killed Uchiha Itachi. And Naruto, it's still a crane tail. Spicy chicken. The kid from the Uchiha family, I didn't expect to see me for 3 years. You can already see me. It seems that you have developed these eyes very deeply. 9 tails gritted his teeth and looked at Sasuke. It hates the Uchiha clan most. Because this is an evil race that can control it. I heard that after I have Mangekyo, I can control you for my use. It's a pity that I can't own Mangekyo without killing Naruto, but you will die if you kill Naruto. Otherwise, I really look forward to holding you in my hands like a dog. Quote. Sasuke smiled evilly. He felt as if he was invincible. You don't even need to look at the tail beast anymore. Just when 9 tails heard Sasuke's words, he was about to furious. The Night Wind's voice suddenly rang next to Sasuke. It seems that Orochimaru has really loved you for the past 3 years, and has made you drift like this. 9 tails' expression was dull. Although the sealed space of the old man is not a great place. But not everyone can come in, right? Did you meet a ghost today? All these little guys have to come in and pretend to be forced. Yamanaka Night Wind, you can come to this place too. After Sasuke heard the sound of the night breeze, his brows suddenly raised, and he was about to draw his sword to slash the night breeze. However, when his palm just touched the handle of the knife, Sasuke suddenly felt that his wrist had been caught by the night wind. Then, Sasuke felt his body lose its center of gravity instantly. He seemed to be thrown into the air by the night wind. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke turned a pair of Sharingan crazily, and habitually wanted to cover his hands behind him. But everything is too late. Yi Feng's kick hit Sasuke's old place again. Sasuke crashed into Naruto's arms like a cannonball. See this scene. Naruto smiled freely. Sure enough, it still feels familiar. Two pillars. Do you feel the night wind and my love for you? Boom. The sealed space dissipated without a trace. There was a cold sweat on Sasuke's forehead, and he looked at the night wind fiercely. Yamanaka Night Wind, how dare you humiliate me so much? I will kill you today. Sasuke lost the coldness he had just now. He yelled hysterically. Immediately afterwards, Sasuke begins to seal. Fire style Howlong fire technique. Sasuke's voice fell. A fire dragon formed by the high pressure of fire style chakra rises into the sky. Go straight to the sky. Urzu, what's wrong with you? How come the direction of ninjutsu is so big? Naruto looked at Sasuke with some distress. It must be that Sasuke has had a bad experience over the past 3 years. So he can't even aim at ninjutsu now. Idiot, this is my stunt, called a unicorn. Wait for your death. To be honest, Sasuke's talent in ninjutsu is still very high. First, the fire style is used to make the air rise rapidly, thereby generating an updraft, and finally creating a cumulonimbus cloud and generating lightning. Such lightning belongs to the force of nature. Sasuke only needs to use Chidori to receive the lightning, and then control the lightning to change its shape, and then it can achieve a wide range of attacks. It can be said, Kirin's trick is very good. The range is wide, the attack is strong, and the consumption of chakra is very small. No wonder Sasuke thinks he can do it again. Rumbling. Seeing an angry thunder beast in the sky poked its head out of the clouds. Naruto and little Sakura were completely shocked. At this time, they saw such a big scene for the first time. Yefeng, what to do? Hurry up and take us away. Naruto swallowed. He suddenly thought that Night Wind would flying thunder god. Can't you just take them away? But, Yifeng shook his head. Embracing with both hands, he looked calmly at the Qilin who was about to launch an attack in the sky. Why do you want to run? This is the first time I have seen a thunder and lightning performance of this scale. You can enjoy it with me. Yifeng smiled faintly. Sasuke saw Yifeng look nonchalant. I feel more and more upset in my heart. Sasuke actually wanted to scare them first, and when they knew they were afraid, he finally took the shot. But, Yifeng obviously didn't follow the script. You are calm. Why are you calm? This is my big trick. Yamanaka Night Wind, you will pay for your ignorance. Now, just die for me. Rumble. Qilin let out a wild roar, and got out of the cloud completely. Roared and rushed to the ground. Boom. A small mountain was instantly blasted into dust. But, that hill is not where Yefeng they are. Tisk tusk, it's amazing, but fortunately, I let the clone arrange a lightning rod in advance. Sasuke looked incredulously at the hillside that was blasted into scum. There was an unacceptable look on his face. It's impossible. I control the unicorn to attack the target through Chidori, and there is almost no deviation. Sasuke said in amazement. Kirin's move is very strong, but it is also difficult to control. But Sasuke owns Sharingan. He can see the direction of every thunder. That's why he can control the natural thunder and lightning in nature through Chidori. But, the moment the unicorn landed just now, it suddenly lost control and bombarded towards the hill not far away. Sasuke couldn't figure out what it was because of it. Look, I'll just say it's wonderful. Yifeng shrugged, folded his hands, made a horn, and shouted at Sasuke, one more. Sasuke glared at Yifeng. Come on your sister. Do you think it is an easy thing to create thunder out of nothing in the sky? Yefeng. How on earth did you do it? Little Sakura and Naruto were dumbfounded, completely unable to understand what was going on. Hey, it's actually nothing, just a little knowledge of a lightning rod. Yifeng shook his head indifferently, without explaining to them. In fact, he just took advantage of Sasuke's presence in Naruto's body, and sent Shadow Clone to install an extra large lightning rod on the top of the mountain. So, with the lightning style level of the night breeze plus the power of science, isn't it easy to get a unicorn? Pillar, is there any big trick? I haven't seen it for 3 years. You won't just learn a large-scale thunder and lightning performance technique. Yi Feng smiled at Sasuke and continued to tease him. Life for a life. You. Sasuke looked at Yi Feng fiercely, already completely speechless in anger. Naruto, it seems that the second pillar is just like this. Let's go up and hammer him, and then take him back to Konoha village. Yi Feng said with a sense of faintness. Yekas thought he had helped Sasuke open the Sharingan in advance. Until now, Sasuke should be able to open Mangekyo, right? But it never made it. The second pillar will always be the second pillar. If no one gave the equipment, he would never be able to get up. What is arrogant? Didn't it just block me a unicorn? My strength is more than a unicorn. Zuzi let out another roar. Finally, he put on the skin Orochimaru gave him again. Your skin was from 3 years ago, why are you embarrassed to wear it? Yi Feng shook his head disappointedly. Gone forever on the way to a mouthful. Go to hell, Uchiha Sasuke urged the power of the cursed ultimate. Purple-black thunder and lightning wrapped around his body. Like a demon. But, just when he was about to rush towards the night breeze, Orochimaru suddenly appeared in front of Sasuke and grabbed the big wings behind him. Sasuke, stop making trouble, you may be hammered again if you don't leave. Orochimaru's voice fell off. The figures of the two of them suddenly became blurred. Before leaving, Orochimaru looked at the night wind with fiery eyes. Ye Feng-kun, look forward to seeing you next time, I will definitely bring you a surprise at that time, ha ha ha. Orochimaru's laughter fell. He had disappeared in front of the night wind with Sasuke. Ah, Ye Feng, where's Sasuke, where was he taken by Orochimaru? Naruto swallowed and asked bewildered. Naruto, give up, you have seen Sasuke just now, he won't go back to the village with us, forget him. Little Sakura shook her head. Little Sakura is completely disappointed with Sasuke now. In the view of little Sakura, Sasuke turned to Orochimaru for the purpose of gaining strength. Now, he obviously has gained strength, but why is he still reluctant to return to the village? And he wants to kill Naruto. Little Sakura is very puzzling. Is this the love and killing? But, this incomprehension stems from everyone's different life experiences. Sasuke has long known that Orochimaru's purpose is to use him as a container. But Sasuke did not choose to escape. In Sasuke's view, neither he nor Orochimaru is Uchiha Itachi's opponent. If Orochimaru can kill Uchiha Itachi after getting his body, that also means that he personally avenged the Uchiha clan. No way. The human brain circuits of the Uchiha family are quite special. Little Sakura, you have to trust Sasuke like I do. He will definitely come back, the relationship between us is unbreakable. Naruto looked at little Sakura with a firm gaze. To put it bluntly, it is Naruto's Shindo. The strong mouth is the title of Naruto. Isn't it just a second pillar? As long as I become stronger than him, can beat him, then I can hide from him. Naruto thought so. Naruto, actually. Hey. Little Sakura hesitated for a while, as if he was planning to say something, but finally swallowed it back. Little Sakura actually had a good impression of Naruto a long time ago. In other words, if nothing happens, little Sakura and Naruto will likely come together in the future. But, little Sakura always feels that there is a huge obstacle between her and Naruto from time to time. And this obstacle is still a man. I really don't understand. Isn't the old lady just a little flat? But it's not as good as a man, right? Yi Feng looked at their complicated love triangle. Can't help sighing. Fortunately, he rescued Hinata. Otherwise, doesn't Hinata mean being green by Sasuke? It's terrible. Orochimaru and Sasuke escaped. This also means that the mission of the Night Wind team has failed. Ye Feng and they symbolically searched the forest for 2 days. Finally found the base of Orochimaru's grassland. But, when they found here, there is no one in the stronghold. Almost all important information was taken away by Yakushi Kabuto. After returning to the village, Ye Feng reported the task process to Tsunade, truthfully. Tsunade was slightly surprised after listening. Did the little ghosts of Uchiha's family grow up to this level? If Orochimaru took his body, the consequences would be unthinkable. Quote. Tsunade frowned. There are many lightning-style ninjas in the ninja world. But there has never been a ninja who can develop lightning style to control the forces of nature like Sasuke. Is this the potential of Sharingan? Isn't it too convenient? If Orochimaru got Sharingan, the ghost knew if he would develop such large-scale ninjutsu as gluttonous, brave, and stubborn. After Orochimaru escaped, we found Orochimaru's stronghold in Grassland, but the important information should have been taken away, and our clues were broken. Yi Feng shrugged. Anyway, for the Night Wind, he has fulfilled his promise to Naruto. Ming Zuo met again after 3 years. Naruto completely let go of the illusions in his heart, and made up his mind to become stronger than Sasuke. As for Sasuke, Yi Feng doesn't need to worry at all. Orochimaru was too floating, he didn't take advantage of Sasuke now, and he waited until his body was dysfunctional before operating. It's strange not to be shown. Well, although this mission failed, it is a great achievement to be able to find Orochimaru's grassland base. Next, I will send Anbu there to investigate clues. Thanks for your hard work. After Yi Feng walked through the task process, I planned to go straight home and drive. But Tsunade called him off again. Hey, what do you think is more appropriate to deal with Sai? Tsunade asked. Yi Feng has already told Tsunade Sai. Keep such a person in class 7. Tsunade didn't think it was particularly suitable. Sai is actually quite pitiful, and he is also a creative talent. Let him stay in class 7 for the time being. Maybe he can be washed away in the future. Yi Feng sighed, although he feels that marrying Ino to Sai in the future will still be a bit of a loss. But who should marry Ino? Ino will always marry, right? Is it possible for him to be an elder brother to do something maddening? Non-existent. So, it's better to leave Sai to Naruto's mouth to deal with. In the future, whether he and Ino can get together depends on their fate. Well, let's listen to you first. Tsunade nodded. After leaving the Hokage building, Yi Feng returned home. Sam was sitting in the yard in a daze. Saw the return of the night breeze. Sam is very happy. Then, the night wind brought Sam into the house. 1 month later, Konoha Village Lishuan Barbecue Restaurant. The Kakashi class, the Evening Red class, and the Asuma class have a dinner together with the night breeze to celebrate Kakashi's discharge from the hospital. Hey, Mrs. Kakashi is also true. Although Sharingan's strength is very strong, it takes a month to lie down every time it is used up, which is too ridiculous. Ino was a little listless while propping his chin. After all, girls don't have much interest in barbecue. It's actually nothing to lie down for a month, at least it's better than death in battle. Yi Feng shrugged. Although Kakashi used Obito's number, his body was often hollowed out. But Kakashi without Sharingan is really weak. Well, Yi Feng makes sense, and there is nothing wrong with lying in the hospital for a month. All you need to do is to read novels every day, which is much easier than doing tasks. Quote. Kakashi glared at Yi Feng with salted fish eyes. Well, Mrs. Kakashi, everyone is here today to celebrate your discharge. Don't put on the look that you want to be passive. Little Sakura sighed. From top to bottom in the 7th class, it seems that every one of them is a problem child. Even the newcomer Sai is like this. You say you want to give your friends a nickname. Why is my nickname Haruno Sakura ugly and Ino a big beauty? Your elbow is too out. Let's take a look. It's still the best teacher from my family, Asuma. Not only is he reliable, but he is also very considerate. The key is full of positive energy. A hint of pride appeared on Ino's face. These classes of them. Ino thinks Asuma is the best teacher. Although the strength may not be the strongest. But the character is definitely the most normal one. The key is, Asuma is not a single dog, which shows that his orientation is normal. Ah, Ino, don't praise your teacher so much, beware that he will become proud. Shiraihong looked at Ino with gentle eyes and smiled. It is clear, Asuma is so loved by the students, and she is also very happy as a wife. Don't worry, Mrs. Red, I will help you to supervise Mr. Asuma to continue to improve, such as starting with quitting smoking. Ino smiled slyly. Haha, this attention is very good. Shiraihong also smiled satisfied. But, although they were very happy talking, Yi Feng gave Asuma a meaningful look. Speaking of, this guy is about to face Akatsuki's undead duo. Although Asuma itself is not weak, But facing Kakuzu and Hidan, it was still a bit reluctant. But if you let Asuma die, Ino will be sad too. Hey. I really want to break my heart for this sister. Although Yifeng is not a pet girl mad demon. But if he can avoid making Ino sad, he is still willing to work a little bit. But it also depends on whether there is a suitable opportunity. After all, the night wind cannot protect Asuma 24 hours a day. After the dinner, Yifeng walked around the village with Hinata. The two walked hand in silence. There was a happy smile on his face. They have known each other for 10 years. Although it seems that there are not so many words now. But the relationship between the two of them has reached a level where there is no sense of distance without speaking. Yifeng, Teacher Hong is pregnant. She asked us to help her think about the name of the child. What name would you like to choose? Hinata asked with a smile. Name. Yifeng was slightly startled, and said with a chuckle, then call Sarutobi the future. Sarutobi is in the future. Good name. When I see Teacher Hong next time, I will tell her that I can give the baby this name. Yifeng looked at Hinata quietly, and from her expression, Hinata also liked the Asuma family very much. Of course, if Yifeng likes the future of Sarutobi. So, if Asuma died, I guess Hinata and Ino will be very sad. Yifeng sighed inwardly. To save Asuma is simple, but difficult. If Yifeng could meet the undead duo one step earlier, he would just kill them directly. But how could there be such a coincidence in this world? Just when Yifeng was full of emotions, an Anbu ninja suddenly appeared in front of Yifeng. Master Yifeng, Master Hokage is summoned by an urgent matter, please go to the Hokage building as soon as possible. Anbu ninja respectfully said. An urgent matter? What's an urgent matter? Yifeng frowned. He just came back and rested for 3 days, is it going to be another task? At this time, Yifeng did start to admire Kakashi a little. Although lying still. But there is also a lot of happiness. It seems to be related to the Temple of Fire. I think the monks from the Temple of Fire are here. Anbu ninja said. Oh, the Temple of Fire. I know, I will pass. Yifeng nodded, exposed a thoughtful look. The monk from the Temple of Fire came over at this time. Could it be that the host of the Fire Temple has been killed by the undead duo? It didn't take long. Yifeng rushed to the Hokage building. When the night breeze arrived, Kakashi and Asuma were already here. Well, since everyone is here, let me talk about this mission. Tsunade looked at the three of them with a solemn expression. What kind of task does the three of us need to be together? Asuma asked, taking a breath. Lu, the host of the Temple of Fire, died, and it was 2 members of the Akatsuki organization that killed him. After Tsunade said the news, Asuma choked on the cigarette in her hand. He looked at Tsunade incredulously and asked, Delu was killed. How is this possible? Delu was also one of the 12 guardian ninjas of the daimyo of the Country of Fire. Asuma left Konoha village because of rebellion when he was young. Later he became the guardian ninja of the daimyo. So, Asuma and Delu know each other. He knows that land is very strong. Especially that one hand to welcome Senju to kill is a perfect absolute defense. But he was actually killed now. The killing of Delu has been confirmed. We have obtained information that the other party killed Delu to get Delu's bounty. Tsunade's eyes narrowed. Since they are for the bounty, we only need to target the bounty within the Fire Country, and maybe we can find them. Kakashi touched his chin to analyze the intelligence of the mission. Yes, so your mission this time is to hunt down 2 killers, and you must not let them leave the Country of Fire. Tsunade slapped the table with a bang. The status of the Temple of Fire in the Land of Fire is extraordinary. That is equivalent to the National Temple in the Country of Fire. And now, the host of the Temple of Fire was actually killed. This made the Fire Country daimyo very angry. So, Konoha village, as a force in the Country of Fire, Tsunade must not let them leave the Country of Fire. Otherwise, the face will be lost. But Yifeng actually wanted to complain. After 3rd generation was killed by Orochimaru, it didn't seem to be treated like this, right? Are you sure you want to do things for one place? It is also possible that Asuma will be given away as well. There are hundreds of bounty houses in the Country of Fire, and there are almost a dozen of them closest to the Temple of Fire. With our 3 teams, it might not be so easy to find the killer of Akatsuki. Quote. Asuma squeezed out the cigarette in his hand. He appeared contemplative. Don't worry, I have asked Shizune to assign a bounty to everyone. In addition to you, there will be 3 Chunin teams to perform this task together. Whoever of you finds Akatsuki's killer, remember not to try hard, send a signal in time, hold them and wait for other teams to assemble. Tsunade is not a fool. She is very aware of the strength of Akatsuki's members. So, she didn't want Konoha's ninja to fight against each other. According to her plan this time, as long as it is found that the murderer's team is holding or keeping track of the opponent, wait until the rest of the team arrives to catch a turtle in the urn. By the way, Hong is pregnant and is not suitable for leading the team now, so you will lead the 8th squad to carry out the mission this time. Tsunade ordered. Okay, no problem. Yi Feng nodded. Subsequently, the 3 of them took the information from the bounty house from Shizune and left Hokage's office together. In the forest outside Konoha village, the teams are rushing towards their goals. The 8th class friends followed behind Yi Feng. There was a sweet smile on Hinata's face. But the expression on Kawashino's face was always weird. Everyone is obviously a little friend who grew up eating barbecue together. Yi Feng is now their captain. This is really more than human beings. And you lead the team. Why do you want to abuse a dog? But if they knew that they were only following a shadow clone of Yefeng, it is estimated to be even more angry. The other side. The body of the Night Wind followed far behind the Asuma team. To be honest, although there are many bounty houses, but only Asuma can find Kakuzu and Hidan. This is the arrangement of God's will. So, Yi Feng just needs to follow Asuma. Hey, look at Ino's excitement. If she really meets Kakuzu and Hidan, she will definitely rush to kill people. If I don't follow, I guess I won't have this sister in the future. Thought of this, Yi Feng couldn't help sighing. Because of the Night Wind, many things in Hokage Ninja have changed more or less. The most obvious is the sister Ino. The overall strength of Ino Shikacho today is much stronger than Ino Shikacho in the original plot. Therefore, in this mission, Asuma did not choose to replace Ino and Choji with Gangzi Tetsu and Kamizuki Izumo. But it also made Yi Feng feel very sad. If this sister is gone, isn't it a big loss? 1 hour later, outside of a bounty house that looks a little unremarkable, Hidan was sitting alone in the doorway grumbling. Hey, I'm drunk every time I meet someone in such a strange place. Master Cthulhu will probably be very unhappy, right? But at this moment, 2 gusts of wind suddenly came from behind Hidan. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Hidan frowned slightly, his body leapt up, and he waved the sickle in his hand to shoot down Kunai in the sneak attack. But he didn't wait for him to see who the ninja was attacking. Suddenly, a meatball chariot has been attacked and killed. At this time, Hidan's body is already floating. There is no time to dodge. He could only bluntly block Choji's attack with the sickle. Hey, the sickle and Choji's armor rubbed together to create an astonishing flame. Then, the moment Hidan landed, a black shadow oppressed. Hidan suddenly felt as if his body was out of control. At the same time, a dazzling knife light swept across the air. Hidan's head fell to the ground. The whole attack process was like flowing water. Played Ino Shikacho's hockey. Well, isn't it that Akatsuki's organization is all masters? It feels like this guy is like a weak chicken. Ino shrugged his shoulders the same as the night breeze, and his face was filled with a sense of drowsiness. But she was still a little excited in her heart. Sister, I actually killed a boss, who said that little girls can't ride the wind and waves. Then, Ino released Konoha Village's special communication tool. Instructed other teams to come over to praise my sister. Ino, don't float, after all, the intelligence says that there are 2 killers in the Akatsuki organization, and maybe the other one is the master. Shikamaru said all he thought. Now, Konoha Village has collected a lot of information about Akatsuki. Judging from the situation of the 2 teams, Uchiha Itachi and Sasori, Akisa, Akatsuki should have no weak people. But just when Shikamaru was thinking, Hidan's head on the ground suddenly yelled, Hey hey hey, Kakuzu, are you all right? They dare to look down on me, I want them to know how good I am. Several people in Shikamaru saw this scene before them. Suddenly, a bit of cold spread directly from the soles of the feet to the top of the head. This, the dead can also talk, couldn't it be hell? Choji swallowed, was shocked. Immortality, no wonder he can become a member of Akatsuki's organization. Shikamaru's eyes were solemn, quickly began to beware of another member of Akatsuki's organization. However, at this time, he suddenly felt an amazing chakra appear behind him. Boom! Shikamaru was directly blown out by Kakuzu. Subsequently, Kakuzu manipulated and resented Hidan's head and body to be stitched together again. Hidan moved his neck, a hideous look appeared on his face. You dare to cut off my head? Little girl, don't you know that being beheaded is a painful thing? I'll let you experience it later. See, Hidan resurrected again. Ino's pretty face also showed a look of horror. What kind of monsters are we're fighting against? Ino was surprised. Immediately afterwards, Class 10 fought with Kakuzu Hidan. Although Ino Shikacho cooperates tacitly, but Kakuzu's grievances are very tough. And Hidan has successfully obtained Asuma's blood, although Shikamaru interrupted Hidan's sacrifice ceremony with shadow restraint. But the situation in Class 10 is already very dangerous. But at this time, a gust of wind blew by. Hidan's head soared again. Yi Feng appeared in front of everyone. Yefeng. You came here so soon. Asuma's face was surprised. It has been less than 5 minutes since Ino gave the signal. How did Yi Feng get here? Yi Feng, don't be careless, this guy has an immortal body. Shikamaru hurriedly reminded Yi Feng. Immortal. The corner of Yi Feng's mouth rose slightly, revealing a bit of ridicule, and he raised his foot to step on Hidan's face. Unfortunately, in front of my Yamanaka Yefeng, there has never been an immortal body. The voice of the night wind fell. Two extremely pure wind style and fire style chakra reveal from the souls of the night wind. Two chakras of different colors are like two yin and yang fishes, condensing a circular Tai Chi pattern at the feet of the night breeze. And then, the power of wind and fire skyrocketed instantly. The Tai Chi disc is like a grinding disc. Wipe out Hidan's head completely. Subsequently, Yi Feng shook his head. Immortality and immortality should be everyone's dream. Even Yefeng is no exception. But life has always been subject to the dual restrictions of the body and soul. How can there be real immortality? After Hidan's head was completely wiped out by the night wind, he, a troubled young man who followed the evil spirits in the society, was also completely cold. I actually killed Hidan. Do you know how difficult it is to have a teammate who will not be easily killed by me? Kakuzu looked at Yi Feng with a gloomy look. Although someone has told Kakuzu more than once that Hidan's face is not related to money, it may affect Kakuzu's wealth. But Kakuzu has a very weird character. He likes to kill his teammates as long as he has a bad temper. So, unkillable teammates like Hidan are Kakuzu's favorites. And now, his favorite was killed. I have killed people, do you want to avenge Hidan? The corner of Yefeng's mouth was picked. A disdainful smile appeared. By the way, I heard that you once threw a kunai to first Hokage from 800 miles away. I don't know if this rumor is true or not. Kakuzu betrayed Konoha village because he failed to assassinate first Hokage, and was used as an abandoned son to calm Konoha village's anger. But the exact process of his assassination is unknown. But imagine the methods of first Hokage. The Kakuzu assassinated first generation without any grievances can come back alive. Maybe she really threw a kunai at him 800 miles away. Yamanaka Night Wind, very good, you have successfully angered me, then you are ready to bear my anger. Now, Kakuzu's face turned very ugly. What he hates the most is that others have first Hokage in front of him. Some people even said that first Hokage's death was related to his assassination. This group of people is so boring. Oh, becoming irritated, that means, the rumors I heard are true. Then you are too embarrassed. Yi Feng shrugged and mocked Kakuzu. He found that mocking others is not a bad thing. Because once the opponent falls into anger because of being ridiculed, the opponent will expose more flaws and it will be easier to kill. It's no wonder that Ninja World has the practice of having a few mouths before fighting. At this time, Kakuzu's eyes were filled with killing intent. The terrifying chakra inside him exudes. 4 monsters wearing masks of grievance came out of his body. Court death. Kakuzu shot quite decisively. It's a big move at first. Fire style head hard. Wind style suppress. Lightning style false darkness. Water style water curtain tent. Earth-style Earth Dragon Bullet. For an instant, Kakuzu, together with his four-headed grievances, performed a wonderful 5-escape ninjutsu. The power of the 5 different attributes strengthened each other in the void, rolling towards the night wind. Like this kind of powerful play, Asuma and the others were completely shocked. Although there are people in the ninja world who can possess 5 escape techniques at the same time. But, I want to show the 5 escape techniques together at the same time. This is simply unreasonable. But, Yi Feng smiled dismissively. Then, his one shadow clone technique turned into 5 night winds. Separately seal. Water style Great Waterfall technique. Fire style Extinguish the fire. Wind style The wind breaks. Earth style Tulong gun. Lightning style Chidori. Yifeng also used shadow clone to perform 5 escape techniques. And, each is arranged in accordance with the mutual restraint of attributes. It's not the kind of clumsy third generation. Rumble. For a time the scene fell into chaos. Asuma, they have never seen such a play. Ino, isn't your brother a swordsmanship ninja? How come the 5 elements escape technique is so slippery? Asuma was stunned. Although his father Sarutobi Hiruzen is also the Grandmaster 5 Evil Ninjutsu. But he had never heard his dad say that 5 escape ninjutsu could still be used in this way. Brother said that the 5 elements escape technique is too low, so it is better to use a knife to cut, so it is generally not necessary to use the 5 elements escape technique. Ino swallowed. Ino knew that his brother had all 7 escapes. But I have never seen him use it together. This is simply too fierce. Fortunately, the night breeze is coming, otherwise this battle is really not easy to fight. You were right, Shikamaru. Choji directly took out the potato chips. He felt that he should no longer need to do it now. Just watch the show with peace of mind. Fortunately, I brought snacks. Hey, the night breeze is here. Sure enough, nothing is so troublesome. Shikamaru also sighed. Although Yekas and Kakuzu both use 5 ninjutsu. But the chakra of Night Wind is extremely pure. Comparable to the tailed beast. And, the chakra of the tailed beast said that breaking the sky is all foreign things. But the chakra of the Night Wind was cultivated by him little by little. So, the effect of his launching ninjutsu is amazing. Only one blow. Kakuzu's 4 grievances were all killed. Kakuzu's body was also seriously injured. There is no power to fight back at all. Subsequently, Yi Feng came to Kakuzu, looked at him and shook his head. Even though this thing is not bad, it will not be able to exert its power without the heroic water of Yuyan village. The heroic water and the terrible grievance are the 2 treasures of the village. Grievance can increase one's own vitality by 5 times by collecting the hearts of others. The hero water is said to increase chakra 10 times after taking it. But, the side effect of hero's water is that it will consume a large amount of life force of the user after use. Almost use it to death. So, if these 2 things are used together, the effect can be very scary. 4-headed bitterness means that you can use 4 bottles of hero's water. A 40-fold increase in chakra. It is estimated that you can barely break your wrist with the tail beast. Such a pity. This guy Kakuzu doesn't know if there is a problem with his brain. All the grievances were robbed. Don't even grab the hero's water. Such a waste. Yamanaka Night Wind. No wonder you can beat Sasori and Deidara, your strength is stronger than they expected. Such a pity. In front of the eyes of Akatsuki leader, your future is doomed to fail. Do you want to know the secret of those eyes? Before dying, Kakuzu wanted to deliberately arouse the curiosity of the night wind. Even if you die, you can't make the night breeze too comfortable. Oh, did you mean Rinnegan? There is no secret of that kind of thing in front of me. Yi Feng shook his head and glanced at Kakuzu. By the way, let me tell you a secret too. Do you know what Conan did for the small money you made for the Shao organization? Hear the words of Yi Feng. The corner of Kakuzu's eyes twitched. He has indeed made a lot of money for the organization over the years. But, the treatment of Akatsuki members has not changed. Speaking of, sometimes Kakuzu is really curious about Conan and how they plan to spend the money. Is it after accumulating? Wait until a certain point in time. Take them all out to recruit the world Sanrin and build an army of ninjas. Or directly use large sums of money to instigate the ninja army of a certain ninja country. Considering the lofty ideals of Chief Pain, Kakuzu thinks these two aspects are very likely. This is why he never asked about the use of money. Until he heard what the Night Wind said. Kakuzu. The bounty you earned by killing people was actually all taken by Conan to buy detonation charms. It is said that there are 600 billion copies, and our family has also sold some. But this is actually normal. After all, a woman is so crazy when she is shopping, not to mention that she is still a paper player. Yi Feng shook his head. Sure enough, you can't let women go shopping. Otherwise, the ghost knows what they will buy back. After Kakuzu listened to the secret that Yi Feng had told him, his eyes were filled with dullness. 600 billion. Detonation symbol. That's the money Laozi has worked so hard, wandering between various ninja countries, killing so many dangerous guys, and saving money. Conan actually used it to buy detonation charms. Burst your sister. This moment, Kakuzu attacked his heart with anger. Two small mung bean-like eyes were instantly congested. Blood poured into the pupil and died. See this scene. Yi Feng sighed and shook his head. Rest in peace. I just don't want you to die with curiosity. I hope you don't have to thank me when you die. After all, I also like to do good things. After Hidan and Kakuzu were wiped out by the Night Wind, Shikamaru and Choji were responsible for clearing the battlefield. Asuma also found the entrance to the bounty. Really? Delu's body has been recovered by the bounty. This makes Asuma very angry. But this world has a unique law of operation. The existence of the bounty is reasonable. Asuma can't forcibly intervene either. Unexpectedly, there are ninjas like them in Akatsuki's organization. If it weren't for Yi Feng to arrive in time this time, we'd be afraid of it. Asuma sighed. One can perform 5 escape ninjutsu at the same time. Not only can one beheaded and resurrected, but also through a strange sacrifice ritual, directly wound back on the opponent's body. Face such an enemy. Asuma felt like he had taken his life back. It seems that I still can't be too aggressive when doing tasks in the future. Otherwise, the red will become widowed. You are welcome. After all, Ino is my sister, Choji and Shikamaru are my friends. Yi Feng smiled faintly. There is no more to say. But at this moment, Asuma has mixed feelings in his heart. Originally, Third Generation asked him to personally lead Ino Shikacho to show that the Sarutobi clan attaches great importance to the Ino Shikacho tribe. And now, because of the existence of Night Wind, the pattern of the Konoha village family seems to have begun to change. Asuma actually started to be thankful that he was the teacher of Ino Shikacho. Have to say, Yi Feng is really a wizard that has been rare in a century. After the battlefield is almost cleared, Choji carried the bodies of Hidan and Kakuzu on his back. After all, Akatsuki is too mysterious. Even if it were 2 corpses, they would not let it go. And this time, the 7th and 8th classes have also rushed over. When Gaga and Shino saw the body of the Night Wind, the two of them raised their eyebrows neatly. Let's just have a long time for the lemon to turn out to be just a clone of Yefeng. You can still play like this. How did he do it? Hinata laughed happily. Look at it. This is my future man in Hyuga Hinata. After returning to Konoha village, Yamanaka Keiichi led the elites of the Yamanaka clan to conduct an in-depth analysis of Kakuzu's body. Although those things about Akatsuki seemed to be sealed by some powerful sealing technique. But they still spied some information more or less. At least, they made it clear that the goal of the two coming to the Land of Fire this time is for 9 tails. Unexpectedly, even the second wooden golem of Cloud Shinobi village was arrested by them. It is said that that guy is already close to being a perfect Jinchuriki. Tsunade sighed after listening to Yamanaka Keiichi's report. It looks like Akatsuki is really going to make a big move. There are not too many people in Hokage's office. Apart from Tsunade and Yamanaka, only Jiraiya and Shizune are here. They heard her worry about Naruto from Tsunade's words. After all, if even the members of the Shao organization have such a powerful force, how powerful is their leader? Being able to recruit Itachi and Orochimaru into Akatsuki's organization, the strength of their leaders must not be underestimated. Jiraiya leaned against the desk. From time to time, I glanced at Tsunade's portable welfare. It's the same as Yefeng's habit. Yes, we know almost nothing about this organization, and they have at least 2 heads and tails in their hands. This is a threat to the entire ninja world. Tsunade gave Shizune a solemn look and said, Shizune, Onogi and Reikage have replied yet. As early as after the one tail in Gaara's body was drawn. Tsunade has already jointly issued a warning letter with Gaara to the other 3 ninja villages. The purpose is to let the major ninja villages work together to investigate Akatsuki's affairs. However, 1 month passed. None of the 3 ninja villages wrote back. Kurigakure didn't reply. Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi don't even take it seriously. This made Tsunade very angry. There is still no reply. Shizune shook his head weakly, and said, however, the second member of Cloud Shinobi village, Wooden Golem, has been arrested. They should pay attention to this matter. After all, Eight Tails Jinchuriki is Reikage's brother. I've reminded them a long time ago, it's just as a whisper, or else Niue will be caught. Tsunade said angrily. At this time, Yamanaka Kaiichi shrugged, secretly said in his heart. Looks like you Hokage. You've been sending Naruto out on missions, right? If it wasn't for my son, Nine Tails might have something to do. Actually, I recently found some information about the leader of Akatsuki. This organization may be related to Rain Shinobi Village. Originally, I wanted to go to Rain Shinobi Village later, but now, I have to go to Rain Shinobi Village as soon as possible. Quote. Jiraiya stood round his chest, looking out the window indifferently. He wandered the ninja world over the years, and the intelligence system he had established was very effective. Rain Shinobi Village. Tsunade frowned. Rain Shinobi Village has been closed for many years. Although they occasionally send a few ninjas to Konoha to take the joint Chunin exam. But Konoha Village has little information about Rain Shinobi Village. If Akatsuki is related to this village, that becomes tricky. Rain Shinobi Village is not just a village. Yamanaka Hei swallowed. Generally speaking, each ninja village is a ninja organization in the ninja country. But the country of Rain is different. The country of Rain has no name. Rain Shinobi Village Master has the lifeblood of the entire Rain country. If they want to do something, that must be a big deal. Speaking of which, our name of Sanin is given by Hanzo of the Salamander, the leader of Rain Shinobi Village. Could it be that he is now in his current grade, and he has become more and more lonely? Jiraiya smiled and shook his head. Hanzo of the Salamander is very strong. I think Jiraiya Sanin was not Hanzo's opponent when he teamed up. If it weren't for Hanzo's initiative to let them go. It is estimated that the 3 of them are already cold. Although Hanzo has a weird character, he is old after all. What I am even more worried about is that he has cultivated a certain terrifying existence. Tsunade sighed. Although Konoha Village also has a Yamanaka night breeze. But in the new generation, except for the night wind, there are not many that can be used. Not even the Whirlpool Naruto. At least not yet. So, the future is really confusing. Yes, so I decided to go to Rain Shinobi Village ahead of time to try to bring back the information of the leader of Akatsuki. Jiraiya smiled faintly, although he also knows that the risk of sneaking into Rain Shinobi Village is very high. But, ninjas are born to face risks. No, absolutely not. After listening to Jiraiya's suggestion, Tsunade shook his head decisively and refused. Akasaka Master is like a cloud, Rain Shinobi Village is still unclear. We don't even know how dangerous that ghost place is. If you rush over, it is very likely that you will die. Quote. Although Tsunade used a secret technique to fix her face to what she looked like when she was young. But, she is almost 60 years old after all. She has experienced too many separations in her life. At this age, she can no longer watch Jiraiya have an accident. Haha, wandering dragon Angelica see, the sea does not welcome me Jiraiya. Want my Jiraiya's life, how could it be so easy? Jiraiya let out a hearty laugh. Put on a nonchalant look. That's not okay. If it is determined that the Rain Shinobi Village is behind Akatsuki's organization, we will go directly to the Rain Shinobi Village. Tsunade clenched his fists and said. Go to war. If there is no clear evidence, going to war will inevitably create excuses for Rock Shinobi and Cloud Shinobi, and Konoha Village will become a target again. Jiraiya shook his head. I think this is the case. I will find out the secrets of Rain Shinobi Village, and then we will decide how to go next. Jiraiya added. Have to say, under the leadership of Hokage Tsunade. Now the strength of Konoha Village has been restored very strong. But, Iwagakure and Cloud Shinobi Village have always looked at Konoha. If Konoha would use only one guest to attack Cloud Shinobi, that will undoubtedly trigger the Fourth Ninja World War. Jiraiya is right. Peace is hard won now. Master Hokage must think twice, Yamanaka said with a solemn gaze. Although Ino Shikacho has always stood behind Hokage, but if it involves such a major matter, they will still consider it carefully. Then let me go with you. If you and I work together, the problem shouldn't be big. Tsunade hesitated. If even Yamanaka Haichi disagrees with her using soldiers against range shinobi, not to mention other high levels, especially the two elders who antagonized her everywhere. As a Hokage, your job is to sit in the back. How can you go on an adventure with me? Jiraiya shook his head. Yes, Mr. Hokage, Konoha village is rare to make progress now. You must never have an accident, Yamanaka said firmly. Hokage's job is to coordinate the overall situation, instead of charging into battle, although there seems to be no conspicuous credit for doing so. But this is the role of the leader. So, naturally, they would not accept Tsunade's opinion. Neither does this, nor does that work. Then let your son go with Jiraiya, Tsunade said angrily. Ah, this. Yamanaka Hai took a breath. Although my son is very strong. But just do it without any danger, right? Tsunade, don't have to be so troublesome, it's enough for me to go by myself. The night breeze is the future of Konoha village. It is as important as you. There can be no mistakes. Jiraiya shook his head. Tsunade is old after all. No matter how young he looks. Her lifespan is not much. Especially a ninja like her who uses the recovery and regeneration technique. Speeding up cell division instantly recovers from the injury, although it seems to be very awkward. But each regeneration recovery is actually a loss of life. So, the young Yamanaka Night Breeze is the future of Konoha village. At this moment, the future of Konoha village is holding Sam in his arms at home. Enjoy the warmth afterwards. After Yifeng returned home, he told Sam about Wooden Golem. Although Sam's personality has changed, but the friendship between her and Wooden Golem still exists. Suddenly heard the news of his girlfriend's death. Sam was mentally stimulated to a certain extent. So, at Yifeng's house, something happened between the two that could be used to relieve stress. After some lightning and thunder, Sam's mood finally stabilized. Of course, sadness still exists. Master, thank you for avenging her, Sam said softly, lying in the arms of the night wind. Fine. Yifeng looked at Sam, who was as gentle as a kitten in his arms. A sense of guilt suddenly grew in my heart. His favorite is Hinata. But she hasn't even finished the process with her yet. Not ideal. Yifeng put on his clothes. Came to the yard with Sam in his arms. I was planning to look at the clouds in the sky for a while. Think about the future of life. At this time, the familiar Anbu brother is here again. Man, I just came back from Hokage's office an hour ago. Wouldn't you tell me again? Tsunade is looking for me. Yifeng picked a grape and threw it into his mouth, and glanced at him with disgust. Every time this old man comes over. Nothing good. Master Yifeng, Hokage's office is about to quarrel. Master Shizune secretly asked me to come to you. Brother Anbu touched the back of his head. Said with some embarrassment. Oh, you quarreled. What are you arguing about? Yifeng asked curiously. It seems to have something to do with Jiraiya-sama and you, so you should go there. After all, Brother Anbu also listens to orders, and he doesn't know the details. Oh, it has to do with Jiraiya. Yifeng frowned. Is it because of Rain Shinobi Village? Thought of this. Yifeng directly activates Flying Thunder God technique. Connected to the Flying Thunder God imprint he had hidden in the Hokage building. Subsequently, whoosh, Yifeng appeared in front of Tsunade. Yifeng, why are you here? Yamanaka Keiichi was arguing with Tsunade flushed. Suddenly saw my son coming over. He couldn't help being startled. You brat, can you tell the truth? Where did you hide the mark of Flying Thunder God? I knew this. My mother said nothing would let you learn Flying Thunder God technique. Tsunade glanced at Yifeng silently. Obviously, Tsunade had a heated argument just now. It's all up to now. Some part of her is still there, violently ups and downs. Excuse me, I went the wrong way in practicing Flying Thunder God. What are you doing? After all, Yi Feng is not a person who likes to sell teammates. Since Shizun secretly asked someone to inform him, naturally, Yi Feng would not tell the truth. Nothing. It's just that I plan to abdicate and want you to take over as the 6th Hokage, but your dad strongly opposes it. Tsunade glanced at Yamanaka. Don't let your son take risks, nor let Hokage take risks. Wouldn't it be enough to let your son be Hokage? The old lady is just happy. Tsunade-sama. You can't be arrogant. Yamanaka sighed. Let the Night Wind be Hokage. Although he is very strong. But you are afraid that you don't know the true face of Yi Feng. Let him be Hokage. I am afraid that Konoha village will be cleaned by him. Hey, I said you guys, just let me go to Rain Shinobi by myself. I promise you that if I encounter danger, my first reaction is to run for my life. Absolutely not floating, is this not alright? Jiraiya was helpless. Isn't it just to perform a sneak mission? How can it be so dangerous as you say? I am one of the Sannin in Konoha village. I want to escape. Who can keep me? Think of my excellent fairy technique plus various reverse summoning techniques. Isn't it a matter of minutes to escape? How could it die? Unless God will so want me to be Hokage. Stop making trouble, can you? Although I am a little interested in Hokage, I have no interest in Hokage's position at all. Yi Feng looked at Tsunade with disgust. What is good about Hokage? Just look at Tsunade. The wine can't be drunk arbitrarily. Money can't bet arbitrarily. Too many rules and regulations add to the body. There is no way to live a life as you want. After all, it's still Jiraiya who knows what life is. Brat, I didn't make fun of you. I have been cultivating you in the direction of Hokage's heir for the past few years. So that you can replace me at this critical moment. You don't have any more points. Tsunade has been accustomed to adjusting his breath by the night breeze. So I didn't pay much attention to it. You brought me to the direction of Hokage's heir. Yi Feng laughed disdainfully, and said, your Hokage heir is Tenten who goes out to do the job. What a shame. Hokage obviously should take the overall situation as a whole. How can Tenten run the mission? When I am a second fool. Don't talk to yourself. Without the results of those tasks, how could you get the approval of Jonin in the village? Tsunade patted the table. Unexpectedly, Yi Feng, the stinky boy, didn't even understand the good intentions of my old lady. Could it be that he felt that I asked him to do the task just to make him make money? Anyway, no matter what you say, even if you vomit lotus in your mouth, I won't agree to be Hokage. Yi Feng said confidently. The layout of Hokage is too small. If you want to do it, just be the master of the ninja world. Expedition to Xingyu in the future. I also push the Otsutsuki family. That is the ideal of Yi Feng. Look, Hokage-sama, Yi Feng is not willing to be Hokage at all. Yamanaka heaved a sigh of relief, and smiled awkwardly. As the saying goes, the twisted melon is not sweet, I think you should give it up. Although Yamanaka Kaiichi once wanted to let Yi Feng be Hokage. But not this time, because Konoha village can have today's development. Tsunade contributed a lot. She is indeed a very good Hokage. But Yi Feng is too young. In addition, today's ninja world has not calmed down one wave after another. If the Night Wind becomes Hokage, the future of Konoha village does not know if there will be any problems. Yeah, Tsunade, don't insist anymore, just let me go by myself, don't you believe me? Even if it is to come back to see your welfare in the future, I will not die. Quote. Jiraiya glanced at Tsunade's welfare. Deliberately showed a squinting look. You. Tsunade sighed heavily. But Yi Feng said casually. Who said you let you go by yourself? Isn't it just going to Rain Shinobi village to perform a sneak and spying mission? I'll go with you. Yi Feng shrugged. To be honest, although Jiraiya often doesn't look very tuned. But, after all, Jiraiya has the same fragrance as the night breeze. So Yi Feng is not willing to watch Jiraiya just hanging in Rain Shinobi village. What, Yekas, would you like to go with Jiraiya? Tsunade showed a surprised look on his face. She knows better than anyone how much Night Wind repels doing tasks. Especially troublesome tasks. But this time, Yi Feng took the initiative to ask for participation. Yes, I heard that the Kingdom of Rain is a very beautiful ninja country, I've long wanted to see it. Yi Feng smiled. The country of rain is always overcast and rainy. It is indeed a very special place. It is a pity that they did not grasp their own characteristics and vigorously develop tourism. Otherwise, has long been out of poverty and backwardness. Yefeng. You don't even know what Jiraiya's mission is, why did you agree to it? Yamanaka Haiyi stood beside Yifeng. A whispered reminder. Although Yamanaka Hichi knew that the night breeze was excellent. But, Yifeng is his son after all. How could he be willing to let Yefeng perform such a dangerous task? Don't worry, father, the task that allows Tsunade to accompany Jiraiya without hesitating to give up his Hokage status is probably related to Akatsuki's organization. Yifeng asked with a smile. Yes, this mission is indeed related to Akatsuki. But I can go by myself. After all, I am Konoha Sanin. Jiraiya gave a helpless smile. I had known that he would not tell this matter. Wouldn't it be enough for him to go to Rain Shinobi village secretly? Anyway, everyone has long been used to him collecting materials from everywhere. Now it's so complicated. Yes, Night Wind, just listen to Jiraiya. Yamanaka Keiichi also persuaded him. They are Sanin. What are you kidding for? Hey, Haiyi, just now you said that the twisted melon is not sweet, and the night breeze is going by yourself. What are you stopping for? Tsunade stood up. She was full of confidence in Yifeng's strength. If he had sneaked into Rain Shinobi village with Jiraiya, they must be fine. Don't worry, father, I can go there. After all, I have Flying Thunder God technique. Unless I do it myself, who can keep me in the ninja world? The corner of Yefeng's mouth raised lightly. There was a proud smile on his face. Don't say it's Rain Shinobi village, even in this Hokage office, don't I just come and leave as I want? The voice fell. Yifeng really did a show for everyone. And, he also brought over Naruto, who had a bewildered look. This is Naruto, this is Hokage's office, what are we doing? After Naruto expressed confusion, Yifeng sent Naruto back again. Look, all of you are Sanin and Patriarch, but can you stop me? Yifeng shrugged. There is no way. Master was so overbearing after using space technique. Remotely remembered in a certain country Manly. The Devil Queen who has the talent of time and space, with the help of a wormhole, can make a few 10,000 years with the angels. This is not without reason. Although the old lady is a bit dissatisfied with you coming in and out at my place, but your trick really makes the old lady very satisfied. A satisfied smile appeared on Tsunade's face. With this trick, Yefeng and Jiraiya are more stable. But, my mother is also a reserved person. Isn't it good to always go in and out like this? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.